Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. But if you do, you'll be all right. All 3 hours going to be posted for you, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. That's every day upon the conclusion of the program. You can also email the show if you like. JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow, WTSM app for your mobile devices, and YouTube as well. ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. It's Redemption Thursday. I love you, Redemption Thursday. We'll go through what Vegas says your team's going to do in the National Football League this year. I'll give you the over-unders for every squad.
Should I get the prime time bed? Working ready to go?
Dun, dun. No, I don't think so.
Oh, when are you going to unveil your worst 5 teams in the NFL?
You love that segment.
I love it.
The worst 5 teams of the NFL takes place after week 3.
Okay.
I get a good 3 games in me before I go. All right, time to make some declarations. And one of them is Jacksonville sucks. Hold on. We're not doing it. Yeah, but that's usually what happens. I'm just going by yesteryear. We usually are fairly certain. You can almost pencil in Jacksonville every year on that list.
Well, in Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland, Jacksonville, you name it. Yeah, we're good. We'll get there. It wasn't that long ago we were talking about the Raiders in that way, and not anymore. Nay.
Even the Bucks?
Yeah, okay. The Bucks have made the list too. Not anymore. Nope. Things have changed, except for in Jacksonville. All right, so I kid Jacksonville because it pisses them off. I've got my Redemption Thursday wagers. I got to do a far cry better than I did on week 1. I was not any good. I struggled. I went 4-6. That's sub 500 against the number, folks. It can happen. Gambling's rough. You don't tread into these waters and not expect them to get choppy every now and again. You got to know. It's the way it works. But I am undeterred. I will come back strong this afternoon with my best slate yet, Tom. See what I did there?
Coupon code SAVE100
yeah,
over
buddy,
here.
Here we go. This is the best of September. FSU minus 33. Lay those points all damn day, baby.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Woo! ULM going to give up at least 45 in this game. I don't know what they'll be able to move the ball, if they'll be able to move the ball against this stout defense. So I'm going to lay the 33 all day long. I do know. What am I saying? I say I don't know. I do know. They're not doing anything.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Got an upset special for you. Ohio is getting 4.5 against Purdue. I like Ohio plus 4.5. I like Duke plus 3 against Northwestern. All right. Way to go, smart kids. The limp-fisted handshake that is Duke wins outright. They don't need the points, but they're getting the points, so I'll take the points. Louisville minus 9.5 against North Carolina. There was a stat that came out, I think it was yesterday, that Louisville is really struggling to cover these days. And it's very frustrating to those that like to place money on Louisville's high-flying offense that they're not covering. But that was flukish, kind of a flukish deal with Purdue. They'll cover this week against North Carolina. They'll get back on the cover train, Tom. Cover train. Comfy ride. Minus 9.5 against North Carolina.
The cover trains are coming, ladies.
Iowa State plus 2.5 against Iowa. I like Iowa State to win the game outright, but I'll take the points if you want to give them to me, just in case that game ends up 21-20. I like that. I'll take my points. We'll be all right. Mizzou is giving 2.5 to South Carolina. South Carolina, who had no business, zero business, knocking off NC State. If you watch that game, you know I'm right. They had no business. They'll lose this week to Mizzou on the road. Missouri's not any good. Either is South Carolina. 2 SEC teams that aren't any good. Minus 2.5. Give me Mizzou.
Yeah, this is like the car wreck game of the week because Mizzou give up 50 points to a D3 team. So what's going to give here?
South Carolina's winning streak. That's what's going to give. It's over. Just like that. Missouri, minus 2.5. Memphis, plus 3.5 against Central Florida. I took Memphis with the hook. I like it. Give me 3.5 there. I think that's a game that's been moved to Friday. Is that right? I think
Yes,
that's accurate. Yeah.
Being played tomorrow. Yep.
And in the National Football League, Atlanta giving 6 to the Bears. I'll do it all day long. Come on, Matty Ice, Tom's favorite football player in the entirety of the league. goes up to Chicago to take on the Bears, gives the 6 points to the Bears.
The Fighting Mike Glennons.
There it is. Washington's getting a point against Philadelphia. Washington's hosting the game. I don't know why Philadelphia's favored. That's crazy. Give me Washington. Houston's giving 5.5 to Jacksonville. I'll take Houston because I know how Jacksonville fans love Houston. That's their favorite team. Give me Houston minus 5.5 against Jacksonville. There are your Redemption Thursday wagers. If you're new to the club, these wagers are not for real money. No. They are for charity. That's what we do here. You bet me non-perishable food items, and I bet you non-perishable food items. Occasionally, you can have a perishable food item, but you have to make sure you're giving it up right away. Like if you're going to buy a turkey for Thanksgiving or something, then do it the day before and give it to them on Thanksgiving so they eat the thing. Can't be storing Thanksgiving turkeys.
Yeah. Tomorrow they show up at the shelter. Here you go.
Here's a turkey.
I've earmarked this for Thanksgiving specifically.
Yeah. Put it somewhere cold.
You may want to throw it in the freezer.
Yeah, for a little while. Yeah, so anyhow, whether that's cereal or cans of tuna or something like that, whatever you'd like to wager.
Ugh.
I love tuna. Just had some tuna this afternoon, Tom.
Well, there you go.
I love it.
That's a good Thursday.
It's delicious. Love tuna. I have stacks of tuna at my house, cans upon cans upon cans.
Goodness gracious. Will Chamberlain over here.
I do like a tuna. And so, anyhow, do you get it in oil or water? I always get it in water.
Neither, not albacore.
I like the albacore, too.
Yeah?
That's good, yeah. Do you put mayonnaise on yours? You hate mayonnaise. You don't do it, do you?
Tuna and mayo.
Yeah. Ooh,
Good
just
Lord.
smother it with mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Lather it up with mayonnaise.
Why don't you put some
People will be sick to their stomachs here in this segment.
ricotta cheese on it while you're at it?
Sprinkle it all day, buddy.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, maybe throw an egg in there. I know how much you like that.
Good
Afterwards,
God.
you could have a little ice cream and milk or something, Tom.
I'll take the revolver, Jeff. Thank you very much.
That's perfect. That said, all right, so those are the wagers. Those are the picks. It is for charity. You keep a running tab. It's on the honor system, so you know whether you lost to me last week. You most likely didn't. I went 4-6, as I said. Very frustrating. Had an unfortunate non-cover in one of the games that should have been, if not for a couple of crazy turnovers and a weird penalty call that the refs were surely out to screw me. I would have been 500. I'll take the 4-6. We'll be all right.
A quick footnote, just a programming note, because I'm seeing that we have the pregame promo coming up next in the break. 9:00 a.m. Obviously, the kickoff time shifts, so shall we. So it's not a postgame show all of a sudden because we had scheduled previously a 4 p.m. start to our pregame show, Tallahassee Game Day, 9 a.m. this Saturday ahead of Florida State and ULM.
Of the news this week that was most significant for Florida State, it was just the moving of the game up to noon. But again, Jimbo Fisher continues to heap praise upon his freshman quarterback, saying he's had a great week of practice. This is interesting to me because it's not necessary for him to do that. It only furthers the attention that he gets and ratchets up the expectations of a true freshman quarterback. So it tells me that he must really believe that kid is in a good place to succeed and is playing very well. I don't think Jimbo would do that if he wasn't. Let's just put it that way. Now, I'm somewhere torn in between letting people understand that this kid can play and that all is not lost for this season, while also at the same time letting them know, with all of that said, he's a true freshman, which means he's going to do some boneheaded things like all true freshmen do. And if you're wondering what those might be, I think the mistakes he'll make will be down the football field. And those are the kind of mistakes you can live with. I like a guy that's going to challenge defense to cover the whole field, that's going to make you play him honest, and that has the kind of arm that can reach all pockets, if you will, on the football field. Because obviously then, A, it means he has a strong arm, and B, it means he's got a supreme confidence. But we have the kind of receivers that if you're going to throw up some 50-50 balls, that you want in your corner, tall guys that can jump. So when you think to yourself, well, freshman mistakes, yes, could be a misread. Yes, could be that he turns the wrong way on a handoff or does something in which nerves are involved or he just doesn't have the reps yet. But to me, where the interceptions will happen, and I hope I'm right about this, and I don't mean necessarily for this Saturday, but just in general, I think they'll be down the field because he'll trust him. He'll trust his receivers. He'll trust his arm, and he'll try to get the ball down the field. You can live with that. Don't give me anything over the middle. Don't give me anything that's going back the other way for a touchdown. Give me the down-the-field pseudo-punt picks. I'll deal with that.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. Do I have to be the one to say it? I will gladly do so. If it's 3rd and 15 at our 40, throw the ball as far as you can, young man, because then all of a sudden it looks like we have ourselves a punter.
Well, And if you don't worry about statistics, I mean, it's not professional football, and we're not playing fantasy. It's okay. You're in college. Sling it around, son. Throw it downtown. Because I assure you, you can throw it further than Logan consistently punts it.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll deal with that, right?
Auden Tate can't come up with every single one of them, but you know what? If it's 1st and 10 on their 12-yard line.
Yeah, that's a hell of a change of possession right there. Right?
That's an upgrade.
Really need to see that more than anything else this weekend, right? I'm not worried about the run game. It'll be there against ULM. Pretty much anything you want to run will be there against ULM. We know that. But let's see special teams improve, because special teams is special teams. Whether you punt the ball consistently well or not, that could be against error. You know, I just need to see you do that. In a game, it'd be nice. Let's do that. Can we do that, Logan? Can we do that?
That was my concern about the open practice. Even when it was against air, it was inconsistent. So this would be the low leverage situation, a sleepy nooner at home against an outgunned opponent. Today's the day that you can put that drive down the middle, and it's a practice round. You know, get the good feelings going, because next week, assuming we play the game on time and everything, that's an 8 p.m. kick against a rival, and they have a good defense. We have an elite defense. You might need field position in that game too. So let's see if we can get that sucker up to 40, 42 yards per punt. Wouldn't that be nice?
Jimbo Fisher quoted about what happened with the special teams against Alabama. Obviously was very, very disappointed. Most of our emails, most of the tweets that come towards come at us are about special teams right now. It's just what a debacle that was. And he said about that, obviously, that it was very disappointing, but that they got to coach it better. And, you know, I thought it was interesting. He said, we have to coach it better. We have to do it better and get them to understand that. Well, he's right to take responsibility. He has to, because this has been consistent across players. It's not just a guy. It's been several years now. So this is a coaching issue, and it's good to hear the coach take the blame for that. I wonder what specifically they do different, what he's doing different to get a better result. A lot of people don't want to see Keith Gavin back there because he's been indecisive and has made mistakes and looks to be unsure of himself despite the physical tools he may possess. But he will be back there this weekend. And he was out there this week during practice, and he did own it as well and talk about the disappointment, saying that, hey, listen, I don't know really what happened. I was ready to make a play. I guess I made a bad judgment on that ball, but they told me the next play, go out there, get it out of my head, go play football. All right, we'll see. Here's what I want to know. Is he capable of making good decisions back there? Because, and I'm not trying to be mean, and I think he's a tremendous wide receiver and has a chance to be a very good player for the next couple of years for Florida State. But as a special teamer, he's yet to make a good decision. So it's not a matter of, oh, there was a blunder in the game. No, he's yet to make a good decision. Can he?
Yeah, I totally agree. And perhaps this is a dumb question, but do they go live in practice when they work on coverage and blocking?
I don't believe so, no.
Maybe that's the answer, because, you know, all this in theory stuff clearly is not working. And I'm not talking about necessarily hitting the returners, because Derwin and Gavin are too valuable. I got you. I'd probably even take 89 out of the equation moving forward as a returner, but that's just me. But it seems like, at least from the old days in the practice videos you get to see when the beat's out there in the afternoon, that when they shoot, you know, the film of special teams, that's all in theory about blocking assignments.
Right.
Maybe
you're not actually having to block people, right?
Man, Jimbo's talking about turning his quarterbacks live in spring. Might you want to turn special teams on live, too, to make sure everybody knows where the hat is supposed to hit the other hat?
So long as you're not tackling return men and going down and actually covering kicks, because that's where the vast majority of football injuries take place, are on special teams. You're talking about a collision course with a lot of yardage, a lot of ground to cover, and a lot of violence. And that's why the NFL did what they did with the rules changes and so forth. So, yeah, I got it. Along the offensive line, blocking it up, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a dumb question, I think, because, you know, it is too dangerous, probably. But if the kids aren't getting it that way, what other way are they going to understand where they need to be, how they need to be?
You know, Keith Jones brought up a good point last night on Front Row Knowles, and in which he talked about the amount of special teams play total in the game. There were 27 special teams plays. So roughly a third of the plays that were run in the game, and you always hear about that being one of the three components that decide a football game. And I think sometimes we kind of just throw it out because if there's not a glaring error or somebody doesn't make a 58-yard field goal to win a game, you forget about special teams and you think primarily of the run game, the pass game, and the defense against those two elements of the game. And yet in this case, gosh, if you look at those 27 plays, it was an unmitigated disaster.
But that's why we didn't in the discussions on the show last week in the pregame show. It felt like we were hitting on it way too often. But in truth, when two teams are as talented as those two teams were on Saturday,
if they're evenly matched, special teams could be the big difference, and it turned out, unfortunately, to be.
Hidden yardage is everything, and that's to say nothing of having kicks and punts blocked. I mean, even the hidden yardage itself, if you don't take that into account and you just look at our punt averages and field position disparities, I mean, damn, man, it was stacked in Alabama's favor before anything was blocked.
What was the stat on Logan? I mean, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I think his his punting average was second to last.
It was something, yeah.
I think it was second to last in the country.
Now he had, sometimes he's punting from, midfield, and so therefore there isn't a yardage component there. But he only hit one good punt in that situation. I think it was to the 12-yard line Alabama would start. The other one is right at the 20. And there are a couple that have no hang time on them whatsoever.
Oh, there's a couple of times where he punted the ball, and I thought, okay, so if we're punting from the 44 and they get it at their 25, Logan, we might as well have just gone for it. I mean, what are we doing here?
Right.
I mean, this is you have an opportunity to win. Well, here we go again. Not going to do that. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Pre-owned cars starting at just $19.99. New cars with a 4-year warranty starting at just $49.99. And at TNT, our service center and service technicians are trained, certified, and authorized for every brand we sell.
And there's plenty of parts and accessories too, right?
Our parts inventory is huge, and we'll dress up your existing car with a full line of Mad Jack's premium accessory products like seat kits, light kits, lift kits, and now for a limited time, save 20% on all of Mad Jack's parts and accessories.
TNT Supercenter, US 19 South, next to Dairy Queen in Thomasville, and online at TNTSupercenter.com.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Bandito's Burritos, my friend?
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Hey, this is Clay Culpepper with Miller's Tree Service. Summertime is here and storm season is right around the corner. We offer free consultations with a certified arborist where we meet with you and advise you on which trees are healthy, diseased, dead, or ones that may need trimming or even removal.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Give us a call at 894-TREE.
Stand by for an important message from the City of Tallahassee and Leon County.
As our hearts are with those in the uncertain path of Hurricane Irma,
We urge all Leon County citizens to stay informed and to be prepared.
Our local emergency planning and preparation couldn't be any stronger, but your family and neighborhood preparations are going to be key to how we recover and respond to this emergency.
You can help us and your families prepare no matter what Irma's path might be.
Thanks, and be prepared.
Visit talgov.com and leoncountyfl.gov.
When it comes to live gaming excitement, Creek Entertainment Gretna is your hometown headquarters. With live poker and simulcast race betting, you've got more winning opportunities right here close to home. Plus, we now offer 3-card poker and Pai Gow in our card room. Satisfy big appetites at Stables, featuring hot and cold sandwiches, salads, and weekend specials. There's always something exciting going on at Creek Entertainment Gretna, I-10 exit 174, Gretna, Florida.
Beef O'Brady's Burgers Across America with Des Moines Triple Bacon, Green Bay's 5-Cheeser, or the Memphis Love Me Tender. All made with premium blend Angus. Pick any 2 for just $17. Beefs, but your Angus, it's good.
The Knolls are heating up, and so are the Makita deals at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, your Big Bend Makita Pro Center. The Build Your Own Kit promo is here with many options to choose from. Buy a Makita Dual Base Starter Kit with bag, 2 5-amp-hour batteries, and pick your 2 bare tools. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, your professional and serious do-it-yourself shop. 1110 Stuckey Ave, Tallahassee, or 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Call them at 580-1200 in Tallahassee or 926-1144 in Crawfordville. Online at CTF.NU.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Step outside in the early morning dawn, sir, and feel those football winds. I know it's for the wrong reason, but the winds are the winds. And I went out there this morning early and said, what is this? These are football winds. I wanted to pull out the lawn chair and just think about football outside.
Oh, hey now. Okay. The lawn chair.
The lawn chair. I wanted to pull out the lawn chair and just sit in my front yard as the sun came up. Thought, wouldn't that be a good way to start the morning, just hearing the birds chirp. In my neighborhood, Tom, if you are up early, say you're walking your dog very early, which I do on occasion, and you go through the neighborhood, you'll hear all the armadillos just squeaking.
They make squeaky noises?
Yeah, they're cute as can be, man. That's what they do. Yeah, they're blind as a bat. It's a wonder that evolution has allowed for their existence, and given the fact that they're not real smart and they don't even see you when you come rolling up on them. I mean, I got a pretty sizable dog, and Steve is like 2 feet from him a lot of times before they even go, when they go taking off. But he could have killed him if I didn't have him on a leash.
Boy, that's in your top 3 of animal noise power rankings.
That's what they do. That's the weird little squeaky sound they make.
I think the boar is number 1.
I don't remember my boar.
Oh, it's like, meh. That's it. That's
the boar, yeah.
And then obviously the turkey.
Turkeys are famous, yeah. But they're like the football winds too.
Yeah, they very much are.
The football winds and turkeys are very much the same, yeah. So tonight, the NFL, New England, unfortunately, will receive their Super Bowl rings and their banner and everything else they'll get to celebrate there in Boston.
Would you have preferred that it was Atlanta that was celebrating their first Super Bowl tonight?
I don't know. I suppose if they had actually won it, I might have been displeased by that, given that they're in the division. I'm indifferent about Atlanta. I know that it doesn't seem like I am. I really don't care about Atlanta. We kind of have, played very, very well over the years against Atlanta. Jameis is 3-1 against Atlanta in his short career in the NFL.
Vic was never a problem for the Bucs either.
No, because Derek Brooks could obviously kind of corral Michael Vick, and we used to just make him throw the ball from the pocket where he was never any good at all. So, Atlanta's never really been a problem. So I don't have a built-up hatred for him. Plus, my dad lives in Georgia, and I know plenty of Atlanta fans that I do like. Now, they're in our way, so they got to get the hell up out of the way. But I don't have a great disdain for them. I'm not a fan of Carolina, for example, and never have been from the start. Don't like Carolina. I don't know what it is either. I just don't like Carolina. Probably because they were always a problem for us because they could run the football, and they would right down our throat. Even when we were good on defense, they could run the ball.
Oh, they were the antithesis of what? Yeah, because we were
brutal.
so undersized in our front seven, and they would say, "Well, here's some Steven Davis
right up." Yeah, It was tough. Nothing you could do about that.
Atlanta would do that too. When they had T.J. Duckett.
Yeah, back in the day, but we still were all right with that.
Oh, we'd beat them.
We'd beat them. No, but we wouldn't beat Carolina. They'd do that, and that was a problem
because they insisted on using Warwick Dunn at the same time. It's like we can stop scatbacks.
Yeah,
you guys not understand this.
Line up and run the ball down our throat. We got a problem.
Ron Dane at us, a Brandon Jacobs at us.
Who was it a couple years ago? Cincinnati's coaching staff. Are you kidding me with that nonsense? They're running the ball right down our throat for the first 3 quarters of the game. Remember, Tom? And then they just decided to go, let's throw it around in the fourth quarter. And we were thinking, well, that's insane.
Man, that game was a long time ago. I think that was 2010.
Okay, so maybe 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a couple years ago.
I believe that was the weekend we beat Miami 45 to whatever. And
to 17, wasn't it?
Yeah, whatever it was.
Beat that ass.
Whatever their score was, it was immaterial.
Yeah,
not
it
enough.
was. It was Chris Thompson run.
I believe that was the same weekend because I was down in Tampa, and the Rays.
But we were friends. We were texting.
Oh, I was interning at the station and stuff.
So we
working
knew,
at the station.
So,
but
time flies.
It was Cedric Benson. Yeah, I think it was like 10 carries for 110 yards.
Couldn't stop him. Couldn't stop him.
Ridiculous.
Just one after the other. I remember thinking, well, this is going to be a long afternoon because this guy's just killing us. And then they just started throwing.
Yeah.
I went, well, that's why they don't win playoff games. That kind of buffoonery right there.
I believe, dare I say it, Sabby Piscatelli returned a pick for a touchdown in that game.
Lord, I had, successfully blocked out of my mind.
I'll look it up.
The name of Sabby Piscatelli. And then you got to go there. Throwing Sabby at me. None of that nonsense, please. AFC East, Buffalo Bills fans, you are 80-1. 80-1 to go to the Super Bowl. You're over-under, says Vegas, 6.5. I'm going to take the under. We can go ahead and take the under on the Buffalo Bills, but that's Vegas. Just thought you should know. You say, why, Jeff? Why did you go with the Bills? I'm going through all the teams here. Rapid fire, though. Dolphins, Vegas says 40-1. 40-1. You know what that over-under is, by the way, out in Vegas for the Dolphins win total? Do you know that one? 7. Where are you going?
7 on the Dolphins. I like what Cutler brings to the table. I'm going to fall for it and say they go 8-8.
Going a little over.
Yeah,
Go a little over action. All right, I got you. New England, the number is, of course, for them as they are 6-1 odds to win the Super Bowl again, always. Very frustrating. Over under 12.5.
I mean, 13's an awful lot to ask. Go under there.
I think you kind of have to go under.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay, so it was 2010 that the Bucs beat the Bengals 24-21. Benson carried the ball 23 times for 140 yards in that game.
Yeah.
They had about 100 of them in the first half. It was Cody Grimm who had a pick six.
Another sorry ass.
Woo.
Another sorry ass. Yes. Okay. Here you go, Jets fans. Same division, 100-1. Over under 3.5. Your projection win total 3.5 from Vegas. Over under. Ouch. Yeah, they're on the list. They're going to be number 1 every week.
Oh, buddy. I think that's under, isn't it?
Yeah, 3-13. Going to give them the little 3-13. Going to go under there. AFC North, Baltimore Ravens, 8.5. I'm going to take the under. Baltimore goes 8-8.
I agree.
Cincinnati over under 8.5. Going to take the under. Cincinnati goes 8-8.
Over.
Cleveland. Damn it, Cleveland. Already with the bad news. Stud draft pick hurt. More on that later in the show. Vegas says over under 4.5. Give me the over. Cleveland goes 5-11.
They might go 6-10. I agree.
Pittsburgh, your Steelers over under 10.5. Give me the under. The Steelers go 10-6.
Under. I think 9-7, 10-6 for Cincinnati and Pittsburgh sounds about right.
Way too much agreement. AFC South, Houston Texans. For some reason, I don't like the Texans at all. Never have. Don't like them. Over under 8.5. Give me the under 8-8.
Boy,
8-8 for the Houston Texans.
That division sucks. Give me 10-6 Houston. Over.
All right. You can jotting these down. Wagers still to come. Indianapolis Colts. Fairly insignificant these days in the world of football are the Indianapolis Colts. Rightfully, Vegas says 8-8. 8. That's a good number. I'm going with 8-8. I think the Colts are under 7-9.
Oh, come on, man.
Going under. Colts go 7-9.
Under, I agree.
I thought about it more. Jacksonville over under. Vegas says 6.5. 6-10 Jags going under.
Damn it, dude.
The
Yeah,
hook.
I agree.
The hook. 6
is
and
the
10.
number.
6-10 Jacksonville. Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota. 358 yards per game. 11th in the National Football League last year was this offense. Over under. Vegas sets it at 9.
That's a great number.
We go under. 8-8 with the Titans.
I think 10-6, unfortunately.
8-8 with the Titans. Tom's wrong. I'm right. Go with the under. AFC West. Denver Broncos. Over under 8. Over under 8.
Over 9-7.
I'm with you. Over 9-7. That's a tough call. That's a real tough call. Tonight, the Chiefs will take on the Patriots. This will affect that number. Over under 9 out in Vegas. Love the number. Can't go over 9. They're not winning 10 games. That's right on the number. They're going to go 9-7, but I'll take under. If I have to pick one, I'll take 8-8 then.
I think they go 10-6.
Oh,
I'm taking the
let's go
over
with
on
the
those
over.
Chiefs.
How about that?
March on.
The Los Angeles Chargers. All Hollywooded up. 7.5 is the number. I'm going to take the over. 8-8 for the Chargers.
Whoa.
8-8 for the Chargers. That's your squad right there.
5-11. Under.
8-8, and that's still fewer kids than their starting quarterback has. All right, Oakland. Over under 9.5.
Under. 8-8.
Crack smoking Tom. 10 wins for the Raiders. 10-6 Raiders. I'm going with the over. NFC East, Dallas Cowboys. Well, this is a big deal. With Zeke, no Zeke. What is it? What do you got? Right now it's with Zeke. Over under 9.5. What say you?
9 is the number. Under 9.5.
I'm going under 9-7 for the Dallas Cowboys. New York Giants over under 9.
Under. They're winning 6-7 games.
I've got them winning 8 games. They go 8-8, but it's still under. We're in agreement. Philadelphia Eagles over under 8.5.
Over. I like the Eagles as a surprise team this year.
9-7 are the Eagles. We agree. 9-7, just a decent team. Washington 7.5. I'm going over. 8-8 for Washington. 8-8 for Washington, including a win against those Eagles in Week 1.
It's a big week.
NFC South, Atlanta Falcons. Here's the only division that matters in all of football. Screw the rest of all of your teams. Here we go. The NFC South. Atlanta, 16-1 odds to go to the Super Bowl. Last year, they had it won until they didn't. 9.5.
Oh, over 10-6, I think. Yeah.
Under 9-7. Under, they go 9-7. The pain, it carries over. They can't get past it, and they lose 7 times to go 9-7. Carolina Panthers over under 9. Under. All day. 8-8. New Orleans Saints over under 8. Under 7-9 for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers over under 8.5. Over Bucks over with a 9-7, 10-6 campaign.
Man, I really had them looking at 10.5 as their true over under until the 16 straight weeks thing. So I think 10-6 is a nice landing spot for Tampa.
9-7, 10-6, making the playoffs. T.J. Ward, Deshaun Jackson, O.J. Howard, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, Jameis Winston. Forget about it. That's an easy 9. We go over right there. NFC North quick. Bears over under 5.5.
Under.
We go over 6-10 for the Bears. 6-10 for the Bears. Detroit over under 7.5.
Under.
7 wins for Detroit. 7-9. I'm with you. Green Bay Packers over under 10.5.
Over. They're winning 12 games this year.
11-5. I'm going over. I got you. Minnesota Vikings 8.5.
I think that's a good number.
That's a damn fine number.
That O-line, I got to see it.
Really good number.
I got to see it to believe it under.
Yeah, we're going to go under 8-8. Running back tandem of Dalvin Cook, Latavius Murray need the offensive line to do some things.
Can't wait to go back and listen to this in about a month when it's all wrong.
NFC West, Arizona Cardinals over under 8.5. Who cares? Nobody cares about Arizona. Nobody in the world. 8.5 is a good number, though. I agree with it. Give me the 9-7 Cardinals. Over.
10-6.
Woo!
There you go.
Los Angeles Rams. 100-1 odds to go to the Super Bowl. One of the worst teams in all of football and a terrible quarterback in Jared Goff who has no chance to be any good. Over under 6.
Under 4 wins.
Under 4 wins for the Rams. And we keep it rolling. The 49ers, little defensive front for that ass. 5.
Over. They're going 6-10. It's the quest for 6-10.
I'm going under. They go 5-11 or even. I'm going even. It's even. It's a good number. 5-11 sounds right. A little push action. Seattle Seahawks. What? We're going under here all day. 10.5. Under. 10 wins. 10-6 for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Arizona's going to take a couple of those wins
and
away.
that is the properly guessed, predicted win totals for every team in the National Football League. 100% accuracy right here on the Jeff Cameron Show.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer. 574-4100. And presented by TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia. And Franklin Spring Creek Ford.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring the right people for your growing business. That means finding the right candidates with a powerful suite of tools. Tools that are easy to use and get the job done quickly. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Simple. Set up screener questions to help you find more qualified candidates. Simple. Review applicants, take notes, and schedule interviews from a user-friendly dashboard on your phone, tablet, or desktop. Simple. Indeed is hiring made simple. And simple works. An independent study proves 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. More hires than the rest combined. And right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing in relevant search results and helping you find qualified candidates faster. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Football is here, Tallahassee, and if you're not watching the games at Tallahassee's favorite hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill on North Monroe Street, you're missing out. With over 28 TVs, you'll never miss a second of the action. Kick your week off with Monday Night Football, where you'll get 2-for-1 wells, calls, and drafts all night long. Then there's Tuesday Night Trivia with Professor Jimmy. Go win yourself some money. What about lunch? Weekdays, pick from over 20 menu items for just $7.50, including a drink. What you doing for Thursday Night Football? How about the Fourth Quarter, where you'll get 225 domestic drafts, 275 domestic bottles, and $4 Jaeger bombs. No weekend would be complete without Bubbles and Brunch. From 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., get all the mimosas and Bloody Marys you can drink and a breakfast for $18.99. Can you say Uber? Knowles, Bucks, Jags, or Finns, no matter who your favorite team is, take it to 2033 North Monroe Street and watch them at Tallahassee's favorite football hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth.
your pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls and send texts, making it easy for you and your customers to stay connected. Even get voicemails transcribed. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your plan when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. All systems cleared for launch. Initiate launch sequence. T-minus 3, 2, 1, mark. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
You are now off the couch and out exploring the world. Roger that.
Get charged up for what's coming next, anytime, anywhere, with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
Refreshment Services Pepsi announces that Steven Peters has been chosen Employee of the Month. His hard work, commitment, and great attitude all reflect the true spirit of Pepsi. Congratulations, Steven.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. 21-16, is that right? Did I see this? That's the final of the Miami-Florida game from 4 years ago, and Al Golden was feeling good?
That was the one that Florida had the ball how many times in the red zone and came away with nothing?
Oh, no. The Florida was the better team, but they lost. And it was on this day 4 years ago. I think that's accurate. Al Golden was feeling very good about the direction of the program. But alas, it was of no use. They weren't going to do anything. They certainly weren't going to go on to beat Florida State. And the years they've just flown past since Miami last beat Florida State. And this year, it could be all the more interesting to see them lose to a true freshman quarterback making his second ever start. Of the 8 losses in a row that would be perhaps the most devastating? No. Blocked extra point from a year ago. I don't know that you can ever really find a loss that hurts more than that one.
That it was something. Remember they threw stuff on the field after one call?
Yeah, well, it's Miami, you know.
They threw stuff on the field in 2016.
Yeah. Miami fans. Yeah. Not shocking.
Yeah.
Not shocking. My favorite Miami fan, of which there are so many to choose from when they're in the midst of a losing streak such as this, has to be the woman who's in her 50s and drunk shooting Jameis Winston a bird all evening.
Oh, yeah.
From the back end zone.
Yeah, was she the same woman that was sitting courtside for the Heat game? Remember that one lady?
Yeah. The obnoxious lady?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was, but more Miami, right?
Bienvenido a Miami.
More Miami. Always good. So, college football week 2 is a great one. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. Yay, week 2. Here we go. Any oddities out there that you see that you say, Yeah, I've got one for you. We're going to go over all day long on Oregon and Nebraska. Neither team can play defense, so that number is 69. We want to go over there.
Nice.
Yes. Also, I would tell you that I had it wrong yesterday, Tom. Notre Dame's going to beat Georgia.
What has made you reconsider this stance?
Well, reading.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Reading and educating yourself on matters?
Yeah, educating myself a little bit more.
What facts did you find to help you?
I don't think Notre Dame's terrible. And I made assumptions that Notre Dame was terrible because they were terrible. They were 4-8. They were awful. They're not going to do that this year. They're going to win probably 8 games. So I would say Notre Dame's not terrible, and Georgia's going on the road to play a game with a freshman quarterback. I don't know why I was so high on them. Go ahead and give me Notre Dame to get the win here.
Doesn't Georgia have the better players, though, overall, I would think?
Notre Dame's offensive line is another thing that helped to sway me towards Notre Dame. They've got a good offensive line, so that can go an awful long way.
You know, this is one thing. I'm sure Vegas is just toying with us here, but the over-under for Clemson and Auburn is 53.5. And that just seems awfully high. I'm not even basing it on.
Start over. I'm sorry.
The over/under for Clemson and Auburn.
Awfully high, you think?
Is awfully 53.5.
I think some of the big time games this weekend are interesting in that a lot of people have chosen to just assume some things that I'm hearing talking heads wise about what Clemson's going to do and maybe even what Ohio State's going to do. I think Oklahoma's in that game in the fourth quarter against Ohio State this weekend, and I think Auburn's in the game against Clemson. I think it's a good football game. I'm not saying that the two favorites won't win those games, but I think it's a little bit closer than people are assuming. I think Auburn's going to have a good season, and I think Oklahoma, look, you've got an elite quarterback and a really good offensive line. That travels.
No, they do. I just think the number one thing for Ohio State in this game is just to see how its rushing attack does. Can Dobbins continue to do what it looks like he's going to be capable of doing week in and week out? And if that happens, that shrinks the possession count in Ohio State's favor. And I just think that his rush total might help tell you how the game was played and how the game was won or lost. I mean, he rushed for nearly 200 yards last week. He could have if he wanted to against an outgunned Indiana team. But I really think if he rushes for somewhere between 120 to 150, that tells me all I need to know about the pace of the game, the way Ohio State is able to win the line of scrimmage, and obviously whether or not they'll be able to cover at that point.
Well, of the big games, okay, now we did our Redemption Thursdays, and I'll go Thursday picks, and I'll go back over those to start the next hour. But of the big games this weekend, and there aren't that many to choose from. You have 4 or 5 good ones, which is great for any good weekend. But I say the big games as if there's 10 of them. I would say, what games would you classify that as? Well, ranked teams, right? So Ohio State and Oklahoma, obviously, you have 2 top 10 teams there. So that's a great game. I'm not picking Oklahoma to win the game, but I'm picking them to be in the game in the fourth quarter. They got a chance here. That game is not a runaway for Ohio State, in my opinion. Clemson, Auburn, same thing. I just got done saying that. I think so. That's a big game. I would also say the other big game of the weekend is Southern Cal and Stanford. And what is Southern Cal? Because they didn't look very good last week, but they've got an elite quarterback. Maybe it was a look-ahead situation for them. Could very well have been. But I like Southern Cal to win that game by more than a touchdown over Stanford.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I do. I think that was kind of a mirage what you saw last week from Southern Cal. I think they were kind of looking ahead.
I think the counter question, too, would be what's Stanford? I mean, it's just really hard to know what is Stanford, what is USC, and USC doing what it did in the Rose Bowl with Penn State and playing a classic, that's one thing. But Big Ten, Pac-12 football clearly was not the class of college football last year. It looks like the ACC is having a down year, so stop before you start typing that away. But I don't know what USC is. I don't know how much we really learned about what USC top-end flight of USC football really is, and hopefully this week gives us a better idea. But also back to the Oklahoma and Ohio State game just for a moment. I know you have Oklahoma ties, so it's a default for you.
But that's not why I'm picking it.
No. But it's just really tough from my perspective to pick who to root for because Baker Mayfield is a king something and Urban Meyer is overlord something. You know what I mean? So it's a coach that I can't stand.
Tough call.
Versus a quarterback that's going to be jumping around all over the field like, Johnny Manziel back in his heyday.
He's very enthusiastic, Tom.
Oh,
you have a problem with his enthusiasm?
Yes, very much so.
You have a big problem with Baker Mayfield? You don't like him to dance?
No, especially when they're beating UTEP and he's celebrating like.
He likes to dance, Tom. You have a problem with the man dancing? Is that your thing?
Yes, I do. Do you have a problem with Baker Mayfield and his antics?
I like Baker Mayfield throwing it around the lot, buddy. I think he's going to have a big year.
That's how you skirt the question.
He's going to have a big year as Baker Mayfield. That's a really good offense. And Baker Mayfield versus J.T. Barrett, who do you want? You want Baker Mayfield all day long over J.T. Barrett.
Yes, but from a total offensive standpoint, I don't know. I don't know what Oklahoma is going to look like when it actually has to face more athletes on the field that might be able to stop you once in a while.
It is crazy to me that the head coach at Oklahoma is 34 years old. Lincoln Riley, right? Isn't that him?
Well, that's right. I think he just celebrated his 34th birthday, too.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
crazy.
Almost 34. You could be the head coach. You could be the head coach at Oklahoma in 3 years.
That is legitimate. I'm 31 in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So
you're
go.
legitimately almost 34 years old, buddy.
I could run a hell of a program. Let me tell you. I'd make sure our uniforms are the right color, first of all.
That's been on your plate for many, many years.
I think they did a better job, but I want to see it in different lighting. But it looks like they actually got new jerseys this year. It looks like the sleeves and the numbers on the away jerseys.
You think it looks right?
They might match. They might actually match.
If it's right, are you going to come in on Monday in celebratory mode? Are you going to give the praise that is necessary?
Well, we'll see. Those home jerseys could stand some upgrading, But the away jerseys,
away jerseys look good.
Go back and watch the game and just look at the shoulders.
The away jerseys look good. You know what? I didn't study it the way I probably should have because I know that is always a annual talking point. But the fact that you didn't come in here bitching for the first time in years after our first game is a sign that perhaps they did a pretty good job, buddy.
But I got to give him credit when credit is due. And I found myself looking for this agreement in color about the time when the special teams was messing up every single time it was run out there. So as you can tell, I was looking for something else to think about.
Anything.
Hey,
there's a fumble on special teams, but look at the jersey. Hun, quick, look at his jersey. I'm going to freeze it right where he fumbles. Now look at the coloration. It seems right. Yeah, I think it's paired properly.
That is pretty much verbatim as I sipped on my beverage of choice.
We just turned it over again. Hey, hun. Watch when he throws this interception. I'm going to pause it right here, and you'll see we look like we've cleaned things up with the uniform.
We'll see what it looks like for a night game on the road because that's when the purple seems to come out.
That's the biggest test. But that could be an optical illusion, man. That could be the problem you have there.
The outdoor lighting, that's what we'll need to take a look.
So you want road game at night. You're not going to get it for a long time, buddy, because we have a home game at night next week. We have a game against NC State, which we don't know the time for that yet.
Not yet.
No. And Wake's on the road. That ain't going to be at night.
Maybe Wallace Wade, dude.
Then Duke at night, maybe. And
you could have a 7 p.m. ESPNU kick or something like that.
You got to wait until a Friday night at the end of October up in Beantown, buddy, at BC. Seeing Adazio's bunch. Their uniforms are tight.
I have to say that as we've gotten closer to that game, I kind of want to make that trip.
Well, I mean, let's go. I'll book the flight today, buddy.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
All right. It's going to be a beautiful night in Boston.
Yeah,
the weather will be perfect.
Yeah.
Can we check to see if the Sox are in town, right? Hey. What say you? Let's go. We could rent the same Airbnb.
Yeah, that place was nice.
It was really nice, and we were close to stuff. It was all right. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with Cricket.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford. the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Our service center and service technicians are trained, certified, and authorized for every brand we sell.
And there's plenty of parts and accessories too, right?
Our parts inventory is huge, and we'll dress up your existing car with a full line of Mad Jack's premium accessory products like seat kits, light kits, lift kits, and now for a limited time, save 20% on all of Mad Jack's parts and accessories.
TNT Supercenter US 19 South next to Dairy Queen in Thomasville and online at TNTSupercenter.com.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Hey, this is Clay Culpepper with Miller's Tree Service. Summertime is here and storm season is right around the corner. We offer free consultations with a certified arborist where we meet with you and advise you on which trees are healthy, diseased, dead, or ones that may need trimming or even removal.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Give us a call at 894-TREE.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20. The only hard part is choosing. First, pick a starter to share. Then pick 2 entrees like grilled shrimp and a steak bowl. All for $20. Beef O'Brady's, where 2 for $20 gets you plenty.
If you've been suffering from a chronic illness and prescription drugs aren't working, it's time to seek alternative treatment. Dr. Joe Dorn provides evaluations and ordering of natural products for patients who qualify under the new Amendment 2 law. To make an appointment with Dr. Dorn or for a free e-visit, go to mmtcfl.com. That's mmtcfl.com. Visit Dr. Dorn at our Tallahassee MMT Clinic on Capitol Circle Northeast, next to the Cake Shop. It's time to stop suffering and seek affordable and compassionate care.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Once again, all of you with stellar credit ratings, congratulations. And this message is not for you. All year I've been talking about our New For You program to assist good people with dings in their credit. And just last week, a friend of mine came into my office worried about his own credit rating. But thanks to our New For You program, you guessed it, he drove away in a brand new Nissan Altima. We are proud of the fact that we have helped hundreds of people that were previously limited shopping little used car lots where they overpaid, got huge finance charges, and had very few choices on cars to purchase. Some of those lots may actually hurt your credit more than they could ever help. So remember, credit score under 600? Come on in. Recent bankruptcy? Come on in. Recently divorced? Come on in. Think you have a financial problem we've never heard of? Come on in to Kraft Nissan. And come see the one dealer in Tallahassee that can really help you out. Come see the cars that everyone wants at the hottest dealer in town, Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or visit us on the web at craftnissan.com.
Know what time it is? It's back to school time. You remember school, right? It's that place you go that's exciting, frustrating, fun, weird, and hopefully a safe place full of friends because friends lift each other up. Want to throw someone at school a compliment? Well, Three Musketeers makes it easy to help you throw shine, not shade, with positive messages right on the packaging that tell somebody that they're one of a kind and that they're awesome. So, grab your friend a Three Musketeers bar with that light whipped up chocolate and give them a pickup at school right when they need it.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The new NFL season kicks off tonight with the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots hosting the Chiefs. Tom Brady will try to become the first quarterback to start 16 games in a season after turning 40. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald is still holding out and is now not expected to play in Sunday's opener against the Colts. If Donald doesn't show up before kickoff, he'll lose his first game check worth just over $100,000. Former Yankees player, manager, and GM Gene Stick Michael has died. Michael also managed the Cubs. In the early 90s, he drafted or signed the players who would become known as the Core Four: Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, and Mariano Rivera. Michael was 79 years old. It's an All-American Final Four at the U.S. Open women's semifinals. Venus Williams plays Sloane Stephens. Madison Keys faces Coco Vandeweghe. Live coverage of the women's semifinals starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Happy Redemption Thursday. Hope you are well. I see that, right? We got the new schedule. Florida State's basketball schedule is out, Tom. Nobody's thinking about basketball right now. Nobody. Timing of these things are always interesting. I know, maybe I'll come back around to it. I'd forgotten about basketball momentarily. I'm talking about tournament train choo-choo basketball. But I don't think it's a tournament train that we're talking about this year, so maybe.
Are we dinging? Not chewing?
Ding, ding. Yeah, I think it may very well be, grab your cigarettes and get on the trolley. I don't think, it's a little disappointing, but we'll see. I'll go through the schedule here. By the way, the Jam with Coach Ham is just over a month away.
Jeez.
Can you believe that?
That's like tomorrow.
Yeah, a month away, the Jam with Coach Ham at Tully Gymnasium. And then a week after that, you got a scrimmage, and the week after that, you have a game. Central Missouri. Next month, college basketball begins. That's just, it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around.
I embrace it, but I'm going to keep it over there. Because
I embrace it, but it's way over there. It's like you can't hardly see it.
Yeah, we got football.
I'm scouring the landscape, and I can is that a basketball way off in the distance? Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, and early on, by the way, Tom, it's stuff like Central Missouri, Thomas University, George Washington. Okay, George Washington in November. You really don't have anything until, and they're going to Jamaica this year. Now, as far as the ACC goes, we did this last year, and I turned out to be really right as usual. And so did Utah. We both were high on this team. I was a little higher on this team than you were, but we were both high on the team to make the tournament. And they did. They made the tournament with ease. Unfortunately, just winners of one game in said tournament, but they did get there. They did win a tournament game. They got off the schneid, buddy.
That second game was a nightmare, but yes.
It was trouble.
Yeah.
Got thoroughly outcoached and embarrassed. Sure. Yeah, that happened.
Well, I told you, it was kind of like, remember Jimbo in the tunnel of the Clemson game?
When he was pumped up, yeah.
The one on the road.
Beat that ass. Yeah. Their coach.
Yeah, he did the same thing.
Yeah, he was like, ooh, we got this.
We're sitting there after we do the pregame broadcast.
Yeah.
And
it's a toughie.
We're at 7th Hill. I go, ooh, buddy, I don't
like
that
the way
feels
he's
pumped.
very confident. Yeah, he's really excited about the game, isn't he? He can't wait till they tip this one off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the sight of that. Can I get a last-minute wager in?
Yeah, that was interesting. Our first ACC game of the year is against Duke. It's at Duke, too. Not having it right off the bat. Little at Duke action, buddy. That's the first ACC game of the year. We play, of course, Florida in December the 4th.
We'll find out if you're worthy of wearing our gear.
Do you realize that we played Duke and North Carolina our first two ACC games of the year?
Really?
Yeah. How's that? How's the ACC just unbuckling their pants here? Yeah. Hey, let's give Florida State their schedule. Send them a picture of my
Last year's was BS too.
Oh, we were living
the first
Remember
6, 7
yeah,
games.
Like, what are we doing here?
And we did better than any team in history against 6 or 7 ranked opponents to start out a conference late.
That is correct. Better than any team in the history of the ACC. That
ranked
is correct.
opponents, consecutive ranked opponents. Yeah,
we did
ridiculous.
That happened. It was a real deal.
Here's your reward.
Guess what? Florida State didn't lose in Tallahassee last year. Not a single time. Remind yourself of that. I mean, it's kind of cool to talk about. They didn't lose a game. If you went to the TLC-CC, you saw a win. Period. Every time you went.
Boy, could they do that 2 years in a row?
No, that's insane. But literally, they didn't lose. Well, all right then. That's pretty cool. Hey, this is also cool. I don't care. It doesn't matter that it's PR related. It's a reality, and it could be helpful. So you guys should know about it. Occasionally, we read a couple PSAs here to make sure the community is of the understanding that they need to be about certain items that are available to you. With Hurricane Irma approaching the state of Florida, our friends, I'm looking here, Tom, Proof did this, did they not? Yeah, our friends at Proof did this. They like to offer clean, filtered drinking water for you for free. Water will be available Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 12 to 7. It's the same water that they use to brew their beer. You can bring in any jug you want, a growler, container, bottle of any size. They'll fill it to the house. In the event the storm deals a major blow to Tallahassee, obviously, they'll have their tanks filled with over 300 barrels. That's almost 10,000 gallons of water ready to provide the community. It is safe, and if it is safe and they have power, they'll offer up those services post-storm as well. So to our friends, brewing partners, and family down south and throughout the state, please stay safe. That from Proof Brewing Company.
Doing
Good
the right
job,
thing,
Proof.
man.
Good job, Proof.
That's really cool.
It is cool. Also, by the way, and everybody's checking radar and checking schedules and wanting to know what is and is not happening in Tallahassee. If your preparation is to come in from, say, the state of Georgia down to Tallahassee, if you're still going to do that, and really if you're coming to Tallahassee, period, you should know that the events are still going on. That includes the Tallahassee Downtown Get Down. They're doing it up again this year. Downtown Get Down, still downtown. Still downtown. They got their concert series with 2 Foot Level starting in this first event of the year, and obviously that's always a cool event. They'll have a lot to do for the family there. They've got plenty of food, plenty of beer, plenty of kid-related activities, and live music at the Downtown Get Down concert series. 2 Foot Level is this weekend as well. So there you go.
I'll be enjoying a post-Friday on-location show beer around 6, 7 o'clock. That's what I'm going to be doing.
That's tomorrow. You going to do that?
Oh, hell yeah.
You're going to have a beer on a Friday? What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
a
going to do that?
Libations Friday. We should give it a name, something like that.
Libations Friday, indeed. That'll happen tomorrow live from the Seventh Hill Tap Room. We will be there. College football, NFL, both underway as of tonight. We get the return of the National Football League, and that means it's Redemption Thursday time. My wagers, which are posted for recreational purposes and for us to wager non-perishable food items for the charity of your choice. Keep a running tab. It's the honor system if you're new to it. It's on our Facebook page. All of my picks are there. Rapid fire. Here they are again. I took Florida State. I gave the points. I think the young kid, James Blackman's going to have himself a good day. It's going to be a nice start to his college football career. What an amazing time for him, huh? To be that guy. No way you thought when you arrived as the 4th-string quarterback, you weren't an early enrollee. Your head had to be swimming so far away from home. And now here it is, second week of the season, and you're going to suit up.
Yeah, you barely know where your classes are at this point, and yet the whole Seminole Nation is looking at you saying, all right, young man, are you our quarterback? Are you this university's quarterback?
Could be an exciting time. I think the year took a weird right turn. Not all of it's a great thing to have happen, but it is an intriguing one. And I do think that as the weeks build and the games go by, we're going to see more and more that we like out of James Blackman. I really believe that. Coach Fisher has had nothing but praise for his preparation this week, and we'll see how he performs on Saturday. Again, that game time was shifted to noon. But I gave the 33 points to ULM. Ohio, plus 4.5 against Purdue. Upset special there. Ohio goes in. Frank Solich has done a great job. People forget Frank Solich is at Ohio. Former Nebraska coach back when Nebraska was in the correct conference. And you know what? They run that system. They run it well. Purdue, narrowly defeated by Louisville. A little crestfallen. Going through the motions. Now they got to prep for the option. Give me Ohio.
A crestfallen Saturday win. Is that what you're saying?
It's a tough one. Ohio goes in there and beats Purdue. Purdue's so close, now 0-2. Tough times to be a Boilermaker. All right, Duke is getting 3 against Northwestern. Duke wins the game. Louisville is giving 9.5 against North Carolina. Give it all day long. They finally cover. They'll crush North Carolina, who sucks this year. Iowa State's getting 2.5 against Iowa. I don't know why they're getting points, but they are. I like them to win the game outright. Give me Iowa State. Give me the Cyclones. Mizzou beats South Carolina. 2 bad SEC schools going head-to-head. Give me the home one. I'll take Mizzou. Memphis is getting 3.5 against UCF in a game that's been moved to Friday. I took Memphis getting the 3.5. I like Memphis to win the game outright. But if they don't, as long as they keep it to within 3, we're good.
You've got a lot of wrong teams' favorite picks this week.
Which means I'm not Joe Public. It's a beautiful thing. That's right. I'll take some underdogs. I'll get my points, and I'll run on Big River. Here we go. NFL, Atlanta -6 against the Bears. I gave it. Don't make a living betting on the National Football League, but we'll do it for charity. Give me the Falcons and give the 6 to the god-awful Bears. Washington's getting a point at home. Can't give Kirk Cousins points at the house. That's what you can't do.
And you're banking on the Redskins, huh?
I like Washington to win this game. I'll take my point against Philadelphia. They'll win the game outright. Houston -5.5 against Jacksonville. I'll take Houston. You like Jacksonville. You love Jacksonville. You feel like Jacksonville's probably a playoff team, right?
Well, I picked Houston to win 10 games, so, there's that. But I think Jacksonville's offense is a completely different animal when they feature Leonard Fournette, their first-round pick.
Just give him the ball over and over and over again, and don't have your incompetent quarterbacks throwing it.
I grant you, 100%, I grant you that week 1 of the preseason is not a true look at what they're going to do. But at the same time, you can't completely water it down and say nothing was gained, no perspective was gained from what they were able to do when they played New England. There was a different level of toughness in that offense. When you have that type of back behind you as an offensive line, you block harder, you play tougher, and you have a physical element to what you want to do and a personality that Tom Coughlin's trying to build down there. So he's the perfect player for what they're trying to build. That still doesn't mean they're going 500 or anything. I just think it means they win 6 out of 16 games.
Well, what I'll say about that is it's the right identity for a franchise that's been lost in the wilderness. It's the right thing to latch onto for the right guy, and it's the draft pick that if you make, you have to then feature. He's the guy you got to give the ball to. He's a big back. He's a throwback, a big-ass, strong guy who's going to need the ball 20 to 25 times a game. So do it, because it takes the ball out of your quarterback's hand, and none of your quarterbacks have been any good in forever. Brunell was the last one. So you got to line up and run the football. And if they do that and play good defense, Jacksonville could be a handful for people. You're right. If that is their identity, and they play good defense, and they run the football, and they shorten games and limit possessions, and there they are. It's 20-17 in the fourth. Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Well, and they've got a good defensive front. I mean, they've got a lot of feature players on defense. Jalen Ramsey rated as one of the best corners in the game. That's no surprise to us, even though he was a rookie, just from a physical standpoint.
Really good, yeah.
He's made for the NFL. Telvin Smith is an incredible linebacker. He's always at the bottom of the pile. And that defensive front is also dynamic, too, with Dante Fowler back in the fold, but they can stop the run as well. So a lot of low possession, low scoring games. They're not good enough to win the majority of them, but they're going to be in a lot more football games than one would think they would be not watching Leonard Fournette in the preseason.
Florida State basketball schedule, I hinted at it. I'll touch on it. We'll go through the whole thing. Tom and I will do wins and L's, the way too early wins, W's and L's for college basketball, Florida State next segment, huh? That's a teaser? People can't wait to come back and hear our W's and L's for Florida State basketball. Okay, I'm kidding. We won't do that. You don't want to do that? I don't want to do that either. When I said it out loud, it sounded good in my head. But when I said it out loud, I went, oh, that's disappointing. I wouldn't tune into that.
I got to have command of the roster before I start guessing on that.
Yeah. It was kind of a joke, but then I said it, and then I realized, now we got to do it. No, we're not going to do it. We'll do something else. I don't know what we'll do, but we'll come back and do something that has nothing to do with college basketball. How about that?
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
His hard work, commitment, and great attitude all reflect the true spirit of Pepsi. Congratulations, Steven.
Football season is in full swing, and so is AAA One Transmission. AAA One Transmission is locally owned and operated by Tim Pridgett, who's been servicing the Tallahassee area for over 37 years. Brakes, transmissions, electrical systems, tune-ups, and battery checks. No matter what ails your vehicle, AAA One Transmission can make your automobile healthy again. Don't put off your auto repairs. Stop it at 1023 North Monroe Street or call them at 222-2532.
Know what time it is? It's back to school time. You remember school, right? It's that place you go that's exciting, frustrating, fun, weird, and hopefully a safe place full of friends because friends lift each other up. Want to throw someone at school a compliment? Well, Three Musketeers makes it easy to help you throw shine, not shade, with positive messages right on the packaging that tell somebody that they're one of a kind and that they're awesome. So, grab your friend a Three Musketeers bar with that light whipped up chocolate and give them a pickup at school right when they need it.
And now, a Sport Clips well-played moment.
Gentlemen, the mind of the human male is a peculiar thing. Every day we walk through a car wash of external stimuli, from the eyeballs to the ear holes, to exotic hot dog smells, to imported energy drinks. So does our mind wander? You bet it does. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's why Sport Clips is Sport Clips. They make a haircut memorable, but with as little thought required from us as possible. A great MVP haircut experience with a hot steam towel, massaging shampoo, and sweet, sweet sports on TV. So if that man in the mirror looks like an island castaway, or just has some hair that needs attention, well, you've got this solved because you know Sport Clips. And if you're already looking Sport Clips handsome, well played, sir. Well played.
Sport Clips haircuts. Find a location near you at sportclips.com.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
This weekend at Kohl's, it's not our everyday sale. Shop hundreds of epic deals in-store and online. No coupons needed. Tech Gear tees and tanks for her, just $5.99. Sonoma tees for him, just $6.99. Women's Sonoma and Apartment 9 jeans, only $19.99. Kids athletic shoes, $34.99. And the Big One twin bedding set is just $49.99. Stock up, save big, and get Kohl's cash. It's not our everyday sale. Thursday through Sunday, only at Kohl's. Select styles, see store or kohls.com for details.
Charlie is all over the place. He's so unorganized. How do I get him to be more responsible with his academics? I've tried everything.
Hi, I'm Lance Davis. Let Engaged Academics help your child learn how to work through these common issues. Visit engagedacademics.org for more information. That's engagedacademics.org.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Better remakes of all time right there. Not usually a big remake guy, and it's really hard to remake a Stevie Wonder song. You got to have cojones. You got to be young and dumb like they were.
Yeah, tread lightly on that.
You got to be just kind of young and dumb and then go all in. Helps to have a bassist like Flea so you could just...
Man, my sister and brother-in-law had the worst experience at a Stevie Wonder concert. He was an hour and a half late for the show.
Nice.
And then he comes on, he doesn't apologize. He says, some things are more important in life. All right, let's go. And he starts playing. Everybody's like, wow, okay.
Okay. And he could see them all, according to Bomani Jones.
That's right. He's a truther.
We actually had that interview on our show with me and Bomani, and I asked him if he was a truther, and he goes, all right, man, now here's the thing.
Which is a yes.
Yeah.
It's not no. If you
wasn't-
say anything other than no, the answer is yes.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Wasn't his whole thing that he had a friend who sold him a TV?
Yeah.
I think that was the whole idea, was that
Well, then there's a clip of him performing live on
He catches
television.
the mic.
Catching the mic, yeah.
that is odd. That is odd, yeah. It wasn't he playing on Saturday Night Live, and he does something with Paul McCartney, and I think he kind of, like, the mic gets bumped and he catches it. And you're like,
It could have been, yeah.
what's going on there, man? That's an amazing work for a blind man. No, he can't see. He just got instincts. He knows if he bumped the mic, it's probably right in front of him.
Right. Yeah, you could feel that in your feet, too.
Yeah, you could do
When
that.
you're as rhythmically gifted as Stevie Wonder.
He'd been playing music for the masses since he was a little kid.
It would still be tremendous if on his deathbed he said, I got you all, and then he passed away.
Yeah, I'm really not all that special. I could always see. Now, I was a good musician. That's
I was a
true.
real special
I was a
musician,
really
hang
good
on.
musician no matter what. But not as special as you thought I was, because I was never blind. I learned to play the piano like every other sight lover. Like there are people called sight lovers. Boy, am I glad I can see.
Who do you think Al Pacino came to study for Scent of a Woman?
Extraordinarily so. My ability to see really, really gives me a lot of gusto every morning I wake up and still see. That should be a thing.
That is absurd.
It's
And
awesome.
on its face, offensive if you don't actually think about what you're trying to accomplish
I
there.
think it's fantastic. Oh, that is wonderful. I'm going to be a sight lover. I apologize. Let's do this. Let's get into the slate. It's a good one. It's a newer feature, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorites because Tom put together a hell of a liner.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash around the clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
More watching, less washing. That's a real thing from our friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, by the way, both Tom and myself utilize their service. It is easy laundry, and it's awesome. Because I don't like doing laundry all hours of the day and night. I've got 2 little kids, and all I do is laundry. And if I'm not, then my wife is. And I said, nay, no more. We're not doing it. We're going to have our friends at Wash Around the Clock and utilize their service. They swing on by the office. They pick up Tom's dirty laundry. They pick up my dirty laundry, my wife's, my kids, all of it. I go, here you go. Do something with this. I'll see you Friday.
Here's some linens, too, while you're at it.
Yeah, and they do it. And it's awesome. And you can get on a schedule plan, and it really does save you a ton of time. And all jokes aside, the time saving, I mean, we're all busy people, and time is money. I got you.
No.
And you got things you got to do, and I got things I got to do, and laundry doesn't need to be one of them. Check out what I'm talking about.
Incredibly professional, too, the way they come, get your stuff, and bring it back. And I got to tell you, too, the way they fold all the laundry and the detergent smells great, folded neatly. You can just put it right in your drawer. And
Well, you have very specific requests, so that's good to know that they're meeting those.
Cold for the regular clothes. I don't need machine wash warm or hot because I'm mixing the colors. I know I'm doing this wrong, but I'm mixing the colors and the whites. So, you have to do the machine wash cold, and you can't mess with the hot water there. And then you do whatever you want, the heavy-duty stuff for the linens. But, yeah, and it comes back. They even fold the fitted sheet. You know that?
I did not know that.
They know how to do it, and it comes back folded beautifully. You almost don't want to ruin it.
Easy laundry, pick up, deliver at your home or office. Ultimate convenience. It's all right there. If you go to TallahasseeLaundry.com, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so more watching, less washing has to do with this. The slate of games. You got one tomorrow night. By the way, if you're so inclined at night to watch a little college football, you can. Oklahoma State and South Alabama is not a great game, but it's on the slate. And then on Saturday, we kick it off, as we always do, at noon. Michigan's taking on Cincinnati, Florida Atlantic, and Wisconsin, Louisville, and North Carolina. These are all your noon games.
Right, and we've added a couple, too. At the Florida game got moved to noon. Florida State obviously got moved to noon. And then the 3:30 kick of Miami and Arkansas State has been canceled, even though it's not taking place in Miami or wasn't going to take place in Miami. That game is canceled outright.
South Florida and UConn at noon on ESNN. Not ESPN, ESNN. Oh. Charlotte versus Kansas State is another nooner, if you will. 3:30 games, Fresno State, Alabama, Delaware and Virginia Tech, TCU and Arkansas. Give me TCU to win big over Arkansas, by the way. I didn't write that on the games, but I'm taking that one. If you want a piece of this, come get it. TCU's going to win big.
Okay.
Indiana State and Tennessee, nobody will watch. We got Auburn, Clemson, 7 o'clock. I'm thankful, not for the reasons, but I'm thankful that our game got moved because now the 7 o'clock slate, folks, it really 7 and 8 is a thing of beauty. Auburn and Clemson begins at 7. Oklahoma and Ohio State begins at 7:30. Georgia and Notre Dame begins at 7:30. And then, of course, at 8:30, Stanford and Southern Cal. And then we conclude the night with a little Boise State, Washington State at 10:30 at night for the West Coast games. Tom's favorite game of the night is the 10:30 game, no matter who it is. And I don't disagree with him because there's something about topping off your evening with a tall, cold one and a little West Coast action.
Man, it's peaceful, too, and it looks like, again, for the wrong reasons, but the weather is going to be nice and cool as we head into the weekend, at least at nighttime. And there's something awesome about, October into November. Open up the window, allow a slight breeze to roll in the house as you're watching the late-night games. Oh, yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about.
You'll be impressed to know that after I left the Mercedes-Benz Dome there in the unimpressive stadium that it is, I went to my brother's house where I was staying in his basement. He's got a beautiful home and a big old basement. It's like a whole nother house practically. I'm envious of his basement. Anyhow, he's got the TV set up down there, and he's got the pool table. He's got all kinds of good stuff going on down there. But anyhow, he and his family were going to bed, but not this guy. I was too wired after having gone to the football game, needed something more, and guess what I watched? Washington State. I did. I sat down and I watched Washington State all the way through, Tom. Watched their dominating victory. I saw way too much Washington State football, but I did so over a cold stout.
All right. Were you impressed?
No. I wasn't impressed. The team they were playing was god-awful, and they just cruised.
So you weren't impressed enough to say wager on them in the future? Because I know you're always taking notes.
I did take notes, and this game's very important. If you're asking me my opinion of the Washington State-Boise State game, I'm letting you know that Washington State will cover the 10.5.
Perhaps that's what I was asking.
Perhaps that's what you were asking.
We'll never know.
Wash around the clock. Go to TallahasseeLaundry.com. See all the services that they provide. That's more watching, less washing, and that's a good thing. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford. The place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Pick any two for just $17. Beats
Bet your Angus it's good!
If you've been suffering from a chronic illness and prescription drugs aren't working, it's time to seek alternative treatment. Dr. Joe Dorn provides evaluations and ordering of natural products for patients who qualify under the new Amendment 2 law. To make an appointment with Dr. Dorn or for a free e-visit, go to mmtcfl.com. That's mmtcfl.com. Visit Dr. Dorn at our Tallahassee MMT clinic on Capitol Circle Northeast, next to the Cake Shop. It's time to stop suffering and seek affordable and compassionate care.
There's a ship available, the USS Orville. I'm ready. You can count on me.
Fox Sunday. From Seth MacFarlane comes a brand new name in space adventure.
The Orville. The Orville. The Orville. That's hot.
It's the series being called hilarious, amazing, and sci-fi fun.
Boom! That's what I'm talking about. Boom!
The Orville from Seth MacFarlane. Series premiere Sunday after football on Fox.
Cool. Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Once again, all of you with stellar credit ratings, congratulations. And this message is not for you. All year I've been talking about our New For You program to assist good people with things in their credit. And just last week, a friend of mine came into my office worried about his own credit rating. But thanks to our New For You program, you guessed it, he drove away in a brand new Nissan Altima. We are proud of the fact that we have helped hundreds of people that were previously limited shopping little used car lots where they overpaid, got huge finance charges, and had very few choices on cars to purchase. Some of those lots may actually hurt your credit more than they could ever help. So remember, credit score under 600? Come on in. Recent bankruptcy? Come on in. Recently divorced? Come on in. Think you have a financial problem we've never heard of? Come on in to Kraft Nissan. And come see the one dealer in Tallahassee that can really help you out. Come see the cars that everyone wants at the hottest dealer in town, Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or visit us on the web at craftnissan.com.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. Thirsty? They have the Lucky Sevens, $7 domestic pitchers after 7 p.m., 7 days a week, $7.95. Daily specials. Locally owned and operated since 1978. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill. 3 locations to choose from. 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Oh no! My lunch has been ravaged by ants.
Go to Bandito's Burritos.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The new NFL season kicks off tonight with the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots hosting the Chiefs. Tom Brady will try to become the first quarterback to start 16 games in a season after turning 40. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald is still holding out and is now not expected to play in Sunday's opener against the Colts. If Donald doesn't show up before kickoff, he'll lose his first game check worth just over $100,000. Former Yankees player, manager, and GM Gene Stick Michael has died. Michael also managed the Cubs. In the early 90s, he drafted or signed the players who would become known as the Core Four: Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, and Mariano Rivera. Michael was 79 years old. It's an All-American Final Four at the U.S. Open women's semifinals. Venus Williams plays Sloane Stephens. Madison Keys faces Coco Vandeweghe. Live coverage of the women's semifinals starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, and a fine Redemption Thursday to you and yours. Oh, speaking of which, good times tonight. Good times tonight if you're out and about. Maybe you don't even have to work tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe you took the day.
State offices are closed tomorrow.
Oh, good times. Well, that means there's reason to go have fun, and you could do so at the Seventh Hill Tap Room. Cue it up, Tom.
Count them up, pour them out.
I'll just have a cup of coffee.
There it is.
It's Beer 30, brought to you by the Seventh Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway.
Final half an hour of a work day. Kind of. Yeah, that seems about right. So this is the perfect time for Beer 30, presented by our fine friends at the Seventh Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway. Tonight is live music with the Love Handles. So the Love Handles will be participating in the on the music front tonight at the Seventh Hill Tap Room. Cool name for a band.
That is a top 10 name for a local band
That's
I've
cool.
ever heard.
Good times.
Love Handles. Remember that the Seventh Hill Tap Room has a bunch of happy hour specials you could be taking advantage of right now, 4 to 7 p.m. every day. And those specials are as follows. For every $10 you spend on a self-service tap card at the Seventh Hill Tap Room, they'll give you a bonus $5. Buy one delicious 32-ounce crowler, get the next one half off. Buy 2 pints, get the third pint free. Why don't you take advantage of all the specials, including the Seventh Hill Cup Club
why
Cup?
not? You got to do it.
For just $10, you get $1 off all drafts from 7 p.m. to close Monday through Wednesday, $1 off all drafts on Saturdays. It pays for itself. Go to the Seventh Hill Tap Room, right underneath Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway.
This can't be correct, right? This isn't a news story. It is? This is a real story? There's no way that this is... Well, listen, this guy has been in the press sometimes for the wrong reasons in which it was warranted and other times when he wasn't guilty. So we'll see. But the story from Yahoo Sports that I'm reading now, which is that in May, Pro Football Hall of Famer for the Dallas Cowboys, receiver and current NFL Network personality Michael Irvin was accused of drugging and assaulting a 27-year-old woman in Fort Lauderdale. Police in the city investigated the case for a couple of months before handing it over to the Broward County State Attorney's Office, which decided not to press charges. But because he's an NFL employee, the NFL personal conduct policy still applies. Were you aware of that, even for broadcasters?
No, I did not know that.
And that means they're looking into it, and he may be suspended from his time at the NFL Network and NFL Film. So they've started to investigate Irvin and the accusations brought against him. And a league spokesman said that, indeed, that is a possibility. So,
well, I mean, do we get into it again from scratch with the idea of not being charged with a crime? I mean, at what point... I guess employers have the rights if you sign a contract, and that's a provision in the contract to do something along these lines. But it's not just about players. It's about employee and employers and rights. What right do you have as an employee if you're not even charged with a crime as it pertains to being suspended from your job, not allowed to do your job?
NFL Network employees have been suspended or fired before for different issues. Brian Baldinger, who you like and I think does a good job, was suspended for 6 months last year for going on a radio show in Philadelphia in which he said he thought the Eagles should put a bounty on Ezekiel Elliott. And the league said, yeah, no, that's not what we do. You can go ahead and have a seat.
Suspended 6 months for that?
6 months for that.
All right, whatever.
Warren Sapp was fired in 2015 after soliciting prostitution in Phoenix during Super Bowl week. But, Warren's had some issues, so.
I think that's what that's about. It's more about more than just that isolated issue. That's probably a context thing there. Yeah.
So Roger Goodell is able to mete out punishment to those who are found not guilty. Guilty, doesn't really matter. The league doesn't care. They're going to do their own thing. Now, Michael Irvin was accused of sexual assault in 2007. He reached a confidential settlement at the time. And in 1997, he was accused, but the victim eventually admitted that she was lying. So it's kind of a complicated deal with Irving. And this is the third time that somebody's come forth with this accusation. And one time, like I said, there was a settlement. The other time, a woman admitted that she made the story up.
A settlement doesn't mean guilt. A settlement means
no,
we're going to keep it out of the courts. It's hard to know the facts of the case, and I'm sure the NFL has reviewed it, but I'm not going to trust the NFL's judgment on this either.
Well, I think that's where I wanted to go with this, was that in the past, I believe that we just assumed the league many, many years ago. We certainly don't think that now, and maybe it was just complete naivete on my part. But I used to just assume that the league would have the players and certainly the employees and administrators and fans' best interest in mind when they went through the course of an investigation, and that it would be fair and honest, and that they were forthright. But I don't think that anymore. So I read stories like this and go, don't know, but I certainly don't trust what the NFL is going to tell me.
Well, there's a difference between discipline once somebody is on the job and then deciding to hire somebody. So, for example, Warren Sapp had a lot of baggage before the NFL Network hired him. You can choose just not to hire him because of what you've heard, what you've seen, and that doesn't have to be the formal reason that you decided to hire or not to hire a player like Warren Sapp. You can just choose on your own not to even bring him into the fold. But then once a former player, is now an employee of yours and they are in the fold, well, then they have rights too. I don't know what the contract situation is, though. Then again, perhaps Michael Irvin signed on the dotted line and there's a provision about personal conduct that extends outside of the legal system. Maybe there is.
Well, they haven't suspended him yet, so we'll see what happens.
If they do, that has to be the reason, because it wouldn't stand in a court of law.
Well, right. The courts have already decided, the police have already decided not to press charges, right? So, yeah.
Which is what I'm saying. He could say, why did they suspend me? And they could say, well, here's a provision in your contract that says, even if you aren't charged or convicted of a crime, if there are whispers.
It's just such a slippery slope, because when you're a public figure, people can say almost anything and often do. Especially if you've had any problem in the past in any arena. In this case, it's an accusation of sexual assault, which is always serious, but it could be anything. And a person knows that in the moment, if they really wanted to hurt you, if they feel that an affront that you caused, that then they can say this thing, knowing that the league could very well, or if any business behaved like the league is, they could do a lot of damage in your personal life, your finances, and obviously your reputation.
Sure, an employer can find a separate reason to, suspend you, but that's typically not a job that's in front of the camera. So this is quite public. And to me, it's just, if they do decide to suspend Michael Irvin, almost sounded like Magic Johnson there for a second, sorry. I just wonder.
Only a couple people who remember that bit know exactly what we're talking about.
I just want to see how that plays out in a court if he's going to appeal that, because the only way this makes sense is if they have a different provision in his contract.
Yeah. The Browns have cut safety Calvin Pryor reportedly because he got into a fight with a teammate. Cleveland is always fun. You're 3 days till the start of the season in Cleveland, and Calvin Pryor, former first-round draft pick, released today by the Cleveland Browns, reportedly after a pre-practice fight with Ricardo Lewis broke out. Browns coach Hugh Jackson confirmed Pryor's release. Two reporters said it was due to an internal matter and would not confirm whether there was a fight at all. Jackson also said there were no plans to release Lewis, from Cleveland drafted in the 4th round just last year. It was already not a great day for the Browns, even before what transpired there. Obviously, we've talked some about Myles Garrett. I'll talk more about that next hour as we give you notes around the league. Pryor was the 18th overall pick in 2014, taken by the Jets, but Pryor's attitude, quote, coupled with the Jets using their first 2 picks this season on safeties, led the team to look for suitors. New York found a trade partner with Cleveland in June. The Jets traded Pryor to the Browns, received linebacker Demario Davis in return. At 25 years old, 3 seasons removed from being a top draft pick, he's looking for a 3rd NFL team in 3 years. That would suggest that my man has a temper issue.
I'd say bring him to Tampa, but you already got T.J. Ward, so I think the Bucs are done shopping in the free agency wire for their secondary.
It's interesting. There's such a fine line when we talk about defensive players, whether it's a linebacker, in this case it's a safety. You want guys on the edge of crazy. I mean, it's awfully hard to play defense in the National Football League, and if you're in a position where you got to come up and hit people, you want guys that right up against that line, play a little bit crazy, and maybe cross the line on occasion. But when a guy's looking for a 3rd team in 3 years, that's probably a habitual line stepper, as we say.
Sounds like he's fit for Cincinnati. He doesn't have to move very far at all, because if you're over the line with both feet by about a couple yards, Cincinnati said,
come on down.
That's our sweet spot.
I like this.
Come on down.
Got just enough crazy in you. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20. The only hard part is choosing. First, pick a starter to share. Then pick 2 entrees like grilled shrimp and a steak bowl. All for $20. Beef O'Brady's, where 2 for $20 gets you plenty.
When it comes to live gaming excitement, Creek Entertainment Gretna is your hometown headquarters. With live poker and simulcast race betting, you've got more winning opportunities right here close to home. Plus, we now offer 3-card poker and Pai Gow in our card room. Satisfy big appetites at Stables, featuring hot and cold sandwiches, salads, and weekend specials. There's always something exciting going on at Creek Entertainment Gretna. I-10, exit 174, Gretna, Florida.
Out on the golf course, there are the obvious hazards. There's the pond, the bunker, the rough, the even rougher.
Yeah, put me down for an 8.
The giant maples. The row of houses out of bounds on the right. The angry flock of geese who've surrounded your ball. Even the occasional groundskeeper you had no clue was there. But if you think you found every possible hazard out there, think again. The hazard you missed could actually be a killer. It's the spot on your skin, the one that could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
And now, a Sport Clips well-played moment.
Gentlemen, the mind of the human male is a peculiar thing.
Every day we walk through a car wash of external stimuli, from the eyeballs to the ear holes to exotic hot dog smells to imported energy drinks. So does our mind wander? You bet it does. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's why Sport Clips is Sport Clips. They make a haircut memorable, but with as little thought required from us as possible. A great MVP haircut experience with a hot steam towel, massaging shampoo, and sweet, sweet sports on TV. So if that man in the mirror looks like an island castaway, or just has some hair that needs attention, well, you've got this solved because you know Sport Clips. And if you're already looking Sport Clips handsome, well played, sir. Well played.
Sport Clips haircuts. Find a location near you at sportclips.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. When you were a kid and you drew on your Trapper Keeper or whatever you took with you to school, did you?
Sorry, forgive me.
What were you going to say?
So these are my friends Parker, Trapper, and Keeper.
Didn't you draw on your Trapper Keeper? Didn't you draw on your
I drew
folders?
my notebooks.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to have. I loved computer paper over notebook paper because there are no lines in the notebook or the computer paper rather. So you just had this free canvas to do little artwork, cartoons, and stuff. Yeah.
Right. I'm a terrible drawer, but I used to, and I was reminded of this just a moment ago when I was reading something online, and I don't know if you follow that, the 70s sports or whatever it is. They're usually pretty funny, but they had a picture of a kid or a kid's sheet of paper from class where he drew the outline and emblems for every NFL helmet. I did the exact same thing, and I can remember, this is getting old, when there were 28 teams in the league. And I would draw all 28 helmets. And I would always get angry because I would really struggle with the Broncos. I couldn't get the kicking Bronco.
Yeah.
I struggled with the Broncos.
Bronco.
Yeah, I struggled with the Broncos, and I can just a flood of memories came back, and it made me smile, realizing that I was sitting there not listening to Mr. Fechner, but instead trying to draw a Bronco, a team I don't even care about, so that my folder, my Trapper Keeper, would look, in my mind, cool.
Man, that Bucking Bronco was ridiculous,
Yes, the Bucking Bronco.
The Bucking Bronco.
Yeah, it was difficult.
Well, tracing was a big thing, too, growing up. And the kids who were good enough to do freehand drawings versus the ones that had to trace things, those were the real artists in the class. You're doing it right now.
Yeah, I can't draw. I just realized I'm trying to do it right now.
I used to do cartoons and stuff.
This is ridiculous. I can't draw a lick.
Our favorite thing in second grade was to draw these ridiculous scenes because we had little car tracers, so you can make car designs and stuff. And then we put this. It's from the cartoons of our age. We put these gas trucks with gasoline leaking, and then you'd show the explosions.
Yeah.
It was always about the explosions as a kid.
I'm going to draw. We should post this on the Facebook page. We're always looking for content. I'll try to draw the helmets, and we'll post a picture.
Oh, God.
It's awesome. They're ridiculous. I can't do it. It's been so long. I'm going to need my kids to try to help me. I can't get the base of the...
Man, when I was in elementary and middle school, the Bucks were on the rise. They were the talk of Tampa. They were my favorite team in all sports. And I hated the Packers because we were still in the NFC Central. And that was the team you had to run down. You had to run down Brett Favre and the Packers to have a chance.
Well, remember when they were both bad and it was the Bay of Pigs?
Sure. Yeah. But I would always draw the players who were trying to tackle Brett Favre or diving for a pass. They would be parallel to the ground. And so you'd see these guys that are just completely parallel to the ground, fully extended like they're Superman, and then I'd do like the little whoosh behind them as though they're flying or something.
Yes, so the wind would be fun. I thought you were going to tell me you would always have them diving at his knees in the hopes that he would be hurt.
I wasn't that advanced yet. But you know what? The Buccaneer logo was actually pretty tough, too.
I can't do it.
The flag, with the skull and the cross swords.
You have in the system the old Bucs song that they modernized now, and it's hilarious. It's so bad it's good. I almost want to use it as bumper on the air because they did. They take the Hey, hey, Buccaneers, hey, Tampa Bay, Bucs know how to shine, which I remember from my youth. They modernize it, and they've got a huge choir that goes with it now. It's kind of fun. They need Jameis to be more interactive in this. He's kind of boring.
This is the 70s version.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
The electric drums.
Is that what those are?
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible.
So you don't remember this from being a kid?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Man, when you had to produce these, how did they do that back in the day? Did they splice things together?
Oh, yeah. By the way, the sort of electronic drum kit there, I had one of those. I had a little I forgot what they were called. It had 3 pads.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome and horrific at the same time. But the modern version that they've now, they've co-opted that and done it is a little bit better.
If they could just give us the whole gospel choir version, I'd be
the
on
whole
board.
way, all the way
Because the beginning,
through.
it's little kids like, hey. You know how kids' voices are. I mean, I'm sure you love your son's voices, but they can be a little annoying.
Well, they're not singing, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. No, that was a thing in the league for a long, long time, was that all these teams had fight songs. That's currently it was the commercial for Gordo's with me and Eddie.
Yeah.
They would use each other's songs. There were like 5 basic songs they would just change the words to all around the league. Now you have some teams that have a unique fight song, which is always, to me, nice and collegial.
Yeah, Philadelphia has one.
Yeah, Chicago. The Bears and Philadelphia both have one. It's great, yeah.
I think the best line in the Philly, the one is, we'll never win the Super Bowl, but that's okay.
Well, they open with that, so they start the
Yeah.
expectations very low.
Screw Santa.
Very, very, very low. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
No fans, ESPN Tallahassee's official home for FSU watch parties in 2017 is Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Francois to throw for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Seminoles are going for the win.
The ESPN Tallahassee team will be on hand for every Seminole away football game with giveaways, a chance to win some great prizes, and to have a good time.
To the pylon. He's into the end zone for an FSU touchdown.
So, when the Noles hit the road, join us at Miller's Ale House on the Parkway, the official FSU watch party headquarters of your home of the best in Seminole sports talk. 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Authority.
And now, a Sport Clips well-played moment.
Gentlemen, The mind of the human male is a peculiar thing. Every day we walk through a car wash of external stimuli, from the eyeballs to the ear holes, to exotic hot dog smells, to imported energy drinks. So does our mind wander? You bet it does. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that's why Sport Clips is Sport Clips. They make a haircut memorable, but with as little thought required from us as possible. A great MVP haircut experience with a hot steam towel, massaging shampoo, and sweet, sweet sports on TV. So if that man in the mirror looks like an island castaway, or just has some hair that needs attention, well, you've got this solved because you know Sport Clips. And if you're already looking Sport Clips handsome, well played, sir. Well played.
Sport Clips haircuts. Find a location near you at sportclips.com.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The new NFL season kicks off tonight with the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots hosting the Chiefs. Tom Brady will try to become the first quarterback to start 16 games in a season after turning 40. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald is still holding out and is now not expected to play in Sunday's opener against the Colts. If Donald doesn't show up before kickoff, he'll lose his first game check worth just over $100,000. Former Yankees player, manager, and GM Gene Stick Michael has died. Michael also managed the Cubs. In the early 90s, he drafted or signed the players who would become known as the Core Four: Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, and Mariano Rivera. Michael was 79 years old. It's an All-American Final Four at the U.S. Open women's semifinals. Venus Williams plays Sloane Stephens. Madison Keys faces Coco Vandeweghe. Live coverage of the women's semifinals starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, don't miss anything. Don't miss Redemption Thursdays. Get it together, people. But if you do, we got you covered. All 3 hours posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. That's right. In good shape that way. You can email the show if you like. It's jcs at 979espnradio.com. Find me on Twitter at jcameronshow, the WTSM app. Good for your mobile devices as well. And might note that, hey, we're on YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. Good to see you. ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. You know, I'm like everybody else. It's Redemption Thursday, and I'm pumped up. We got NFL games tonight. Got my picks back out there for you in a second. But I can't. It's addicting to go look at the models. You feel like it's crack. You can't. You keep going back to it.
I know. This is where the Weather Channel makes its money, and all the weather websites make their money. They provide information, and that is a service to be sure. But they're for-profit organizations, and they do pretty well for themselves because people get hooked on this stuff. I'm one of them. Every 3 or 4 segments or so, I'm checking to see what the models are saying.
Well, in this case, it makes total sense to do that. You're not like some old person who's just The day is centered around what the weather's doing. Old people, man, it's crazy.
No.
I'm not going to be that guy. I refuse to be that guy. But I've seen it happen to everybody I know as they get past the age of 55. It's forget about it. You got to wake up, turn on the Weather Channel. What's going on in Phoenix? Who cares? You live in Florida.
My parents were that way when I was a young kid, when they were in their early and mid-40s. But to me, I still like Channel 17 here locally because it gives you the weather scan.
Yeah.
It's a no BS.
It's also very quiet.
It's quiet.
There you
I don't need
little...
people shouting at me about
No,
the weather. I just turn on Channel 17. There it is. Beautiful. Boppity beep. There's the schedule for the next couple of days. But yeah, I mean, you know.
You know what I do laugh at? Why, when they're giving weather reports? Now, if that were my job, if I were in front of the camera doing this, I always crack up because they don't know really. They want to interact with you, the viewer, and the surrounding weather. So, like right now, they're in Miami, and it's beautiful. It's perfect in Miami right now. Obviously, it's not going to be. And the guy's standing by the ocean, and he goes, well, what's going to slow Harvey down is certainly not going to be the temperature of the water. And then he has to physically walk over and touch the ocean as if we thought he was lying.
Right.
You know, like, I can tell you, because my hand is physically in the ocean, that the water is warm. I trust you, man. I got you. It's 88 degrees down there. It's like soup.
Yeah, it's a nice day today.
Yeah.
You know, but still, I mean, Irma could go either way on the state, so it's just, you got to keep watch of it, but at the same time, yeah, we're not people that are living in Montana going, oh, I wonder what the weather's, oh, boy, this is good television. Look at these winds, that video out of San, you know what I mean? Like, there's a cruel element if you're watching from afar to just be turning on the Weather Channel.
Oh, yeah, morbid. Yeah, you're like, ooh, look, they're burning up in California.
It's like... It's like turning on NASCAR for
for the accidents,
as though it would be for fatalities, not just for car wrecks. You know what I mean? Because the videos that are coming out of the islands and post hurricane. I mean,
I have not seen any. I haven't really. They're terrible, right?
It's really heartbreaking. I mean, they're in the way. You know it's going to happen, so
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
shocking. But all the same, you take a look at the pictures of the destruction, and you go, man, that's not something to mess around with. And I feel bad for all those people that can't get on a plane and just get the hell out of Dodge.
Well, no, if you're not of means, you can't do that. And you're stuck on an island. That is the downside. Other times it's paradise. But a couple times a year, it can be a disaster, obviously, and very, very tragic. Hey, by the way, we want to be transparent here. We're starting to formulate the company as a game plan for those of us here who work in radio, and that affects you guys, the listeners. If Tallahassee is going to be without power for any prolonged period of time, and in word right now, I don't want to get anybody panicking. We still have to monitor this storm. But as it plays out, you know, there's a real good chance somewhere around Monday that some pretty stiff winds are going to hit Tallahassee at the very least. Not 140-mile-per-hour winds, but, you know, could be something in the range of 25 to 50 miles per hour. And you know how Tallahassee is. We have a lot of trees. It's what makes this city so beautiful. The hills and the trees, it's different than the rest of Florida. It is a unique look, and I am always very proud of that. Unfortunately, it's also the reason that the entire city loses power if it's a little breezy. And this is going to be more than a little breezy. So if that happens and we are without power for a good bit, obviously everybody encourages others to be patient and helpful as opposed to destructive and angry. But it's also our intention to leave. So we won't be here. We'll lock up the doors of the station and protect the transmitter the best we can, and we may be gone for a couple of days. Now, I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want that to happen. Schools are going to announce by Saturday what their plans are for Monday, Tuesday. So
yeah, Monday, Tuesday are the days that we're eyeing. And from a broadcast standpoint, I'm going to do everything I can from my, operator perspective.
In a different city.
Well, perhaps, depending upon the conditions, man.
I'm not making fun of you.
If that thing hangs the left turn and it's still a Cat 3 ravaging across the state coming to Tallahassee, yeah, you bet your ass I'm going to find someplace else, and I'll come back here as soon as the worst of it is over. But if it's stiff winds at 25 to 40 miles an hour, I'll do what I can to keep the power going. But
we'd like the station to stay on, but we won't be doing a show.
But from a show standpoint, hell to the no.
No, definitely won't happen because I'll have to take my kids and my wife away from Tallahassee. And not because I'm fearful of their health, but because if you're without power for 48 to 72 hours, something like that, like we've experienced before, those of you out there as parents, you know what I'm talking about. It's impossible. Your kids, they struggle.
And it just depends on the grid and whether or not your grid is above ground or below ground. I think we got a little bit of above ground going on over here towards the office. But we'll do everything in our power to at least get you satellite programming from morning to night, everything in between with updates as we can get them to you.
All right, so last week, first week of the season for Redemption Thursday, I wasn't great. It can happen. It's tough when you got to pick 10 games. In the real world, I don't bet 10 games unless I really believe in 10 games. But in our charity world, where it's just for fun, I always bet 10 games. You're on the honor system. Let's remember this. And we're all going to divvy up the goodies to our favorite charities when the time is right. So you know what your record is against me. The picks are on Facebook. Go to ESPN Tallahassee on Facebook. You'll find it, 97.9. And if you beat me and you're ahead, well, we'll look. I know I went 4-6 last week against the numbers, so plenty of you beat me. I'm sure of that. If you're one of the unlucky few who bet the 4 that I got right, well, then you know you're losing to me. So let's keep a running tally, and when the time is right, maybe 4 or 5 weeks into the season, we drop off the goods. I'll do my part, I promise you, to drop off goods. If I'm in the hole to you, a particular gambler, if you will, for charity on Facebook, I got you. I see the numbers that come up. We monitor what's there. Post your wagers there, and I'll divvy up the food when the time comes.
And no skimping. This isn't something where you do a net count. It's like if you get one wrong, you owe a food item. It doesn't matter that for the season, somebody's won game over 500 against somebody else.
No.
Every time you lose, you have to put up some food for the people.
Right. Now, listen, at the end of the day, at the end of the 4 weeks, I don't know how you want to do it. It's up to you. I usually pay up every 4 weeks. So, at the end of 4 weeks, if I'm down, that's it. That's what we got to do. I got to do the right thing. Got to go drop off the food. And if I'm up, that's a good thing. But if I'm losing to specific people, obviously I've got to go drop off that food. That's the way it works. Here are your games. Having said all of that, I like this week's slate, Tom. I'm going to beat the people's asses this week. I really feel like it's going to be an unfortunate week for those that take me on.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I don't always feel that way when we have to incorporate National Football League games. And I don't have to, but I did incorporate 3 NFL games, Tom. And I like wagering on the NFL. I'm a big fan of wagering on the NFL for fun, but not in real life.
No.
No way to make a living in real life betting on the National Football League.
No, sir.
Little wisdom for you young sporting guys or gals that want to get involved. First of all, be responsible. Have a number in your mind. If you go past that number, you need to shut it down.
Hey,
but don't do the NFL.
Side question. Did you get reached out to about the usual yearly contest where you pick 5 a week?
I haven't yet, and I got to imagine that's going to happen. Why don't you reach
tonight.
out? Why don't you reach out to our friends?
What the hell, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to reach out. He's a mutual friend. We both know him.
We'll call him Jose.
You better reach out, Jose.
Let's come on, Jose.
What are we doing? I get you've been busy, but let's go. Are you not doing this again? Did you get shut down?
Jose San Hermenia?
I think he may have gotten shut down. That may be the truth.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Oh. You got to move him around, man. You got to move it around.
I see.
Yeah, you got to move it
that's
around.
Unfortunate.
There was a guy. It's a true story. All right, kids, don't do this. I had a guy that was my guy, right? If you're a sporting guy or gal, everybody's got a guy. We're adults here. You get the deal. So I had a guy. He was good. Really good. Payout on time. Everything was right, Kind of guy you could trust, Tom. Come to find out one day, he's just gone. He's just gone. I can't find him anywhere. And I was really frustrated because we had a good thing going for like a 4-year run. All of a sudden, he's nowhere to be found. You know what I found out? He moved to Tampa. Of course he did.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And the whole time, I didn't know his real name. He was going by a different name. He shut down the pool and moved to Tampa, and he excommunicated all of us. That was it. He was on the go, just like that. The risks you take when you enter into that realm. It can happen.
Sure, yeah.
All right, here are your games, finally. College football. Give me the Noles, and give me the Noles big. I'm laying the 33 points to ULM. Come get you some.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Woo! Minus 33. ULM may need 50. Florida State wins. Going away. Big
I can
number.
feel it all the way down in my plums.
Upset special. Here's the pick. Number 2. Wrong team's favorite, Tom. Wrong team's favorite. Plus 4.5. Give me Ohio. Ohio, not Ohio State. Ohio to go on the road and upset Purdue, who narrowly lost to Louisville.
Really? Wrong team's favorite.
Wrong team's favorite. Give me Ohio on the road against Purdue.
Ohio, Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't do this in your private life at all.
Ohio, plus 4.5. Duke is getting 3 at home. What are we doing here? What? No. Dead fish going to sling around the lot a little bit. Duke Wrong team's favorite, Tom. Duke getting 3 points at home against the other smart kids from Northwestern.
That's why he shakes his hand with the dead fish, dead fish.
Louisville's giving 9.5 to North Carolina. Louisville doesn't cover a lot these days. Oh, but they'll cover big time this weekend in Chapel Hill. They'll beat North Carolina by at least 3 touchdowns, folks. Give that 9 all day long.
Boy, I've agreed 100% with this
getting
Duke
weird.
and Louisville pick.
Yeah,
These are two good picks.
Feeling good about this, huh? Iowa State, wrong team's favored. Iowa State's getting 2.5 against Iowa. Give me Iowa State to win the game outright.
Really?
I like it. Yep. Iowa State hosting this game.
Power.
Cyclone's going to knock off Iowa this weekend. Give me Mizzou to knock off South Carolina, who had no business beating North Carolina State. That's not a good South Carolina team. Won some situations, got a little lucky. Give me Missouri.
That's a toughie, though. Didn't Missouri give up 40 points to the Sisters of the Poor?
Not a very good team. No, not very good. No, 2 bad teams.
Yeah.
But it's the number's under 3, so I just basically need Missouri to win. So I'm just taking Missouri to win. There are key numbers out there, folks. 3, 7. These are key numbers. You got to look at those numbers. This is under 3, under a key number. Give me the minus 2.5. Now, see, conversely, this is a key number, and you're on the right side of the key number. Memphis is getting 3.5. See how we play the game, kids? I'm getting 3.5. So when UCF beats Memphis 27-24, I walk away a winner thanks to the hook. Give me Memphis plus 3.5 against UCF.
Yeah, I was looking at that game pretty hard, actually, in my private life because UCF runs, that Oregon offense.
Yep.
But it just, man, it's one thing to do it against whoever, FIU.
Yeah.
And it's quite another to do it against Memphis because they didn't look all that efficient. And you know what happens. If that up-tempo offense gets stopped a couple of times in a row.
Against the team that could do something about it.
Well, the TOP at halftime is something like 18 to, 7.
Give me Memphis, Tom.
Yeah.
Plus 3.5. All right, on to the National Football League. I did it. Atlanta's given 6 to the Bears.
That's 18-12 for math majors.
Atlanta minus 6 versus Chicago. It's under a touchdown. I gave it. It's under a touchdown, an extra point. I gave the 6 points to the Bears. The NFL is crazy. On the surface, the Bears are probably one of the 4 worst teams in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're really bad.
Probably.
With no Alshon Jeffrey now? I mean, they're throwing to Kevin White, my man.
Well, and they lost Cameron Meredith for the year, too, and he was the security blanket.
Yeah, they're not any good at all. No. So, on the surface, you'd say, why is that number only 6? The Falcons were this close to winning the Super Bowl before they choked in historic fashion. But that's the league. The league's the league. That's why you don't bet on the league. You don't. Because watch that game be 24-21 with 3 minutes to play. It's the league. What are you going to do? Margin for error is very small. Atlanta minus 6. I did it. I don't like it, but I did it. Washington's getting a point at home against Philadelphia. I don't know why Philadelphia would be favored. I think Washington's better than Philadelphia for starters.
Really?
Yeah, and especially at home. So give me Washington to win the game outright.
Ooh, I mean, Philadelphia did invest in an awful lot of weapons, and you like their quarterback, the young quarterback,
right.
Carson
he's
Wentz.
Okay. He's no Jameis Winston, but he's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, give me Washington. Kirk Cousins is going to be slinging around a lot, buddy.
Okay.
Big day for Washington.
All right.
Washington wins big over Philadelphia. Houston minus 5.5 against Jacksonville. That's self-explanatory.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It gives in Houston.
I know, but
big home field advantage there in Houston.
But it does look different, that Jacksonville offense, when they use Fournette for 80% of the plays.
Yeah, it does. They won't be able to run the ball against that Houston defense. Give me Houston. I'm going to give the 5.5. It sounds like you've picked a couple that you may want to delve into here.
Yeah, I know. The third time hearing it, right?
Well, I want you to
reserve
have
the right
every
for a couple?
chance. Yeah, so at the bottom of the hour, maybe we'll pick our. You lost the big matchup. I had Maryland last week against Texas.
Oh God!
And
it's obliterated.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny because there I was in Atlanta getting ready to do the pregame show with you, and we were locking in with the equipment, and I was testing everything, and you were back here in the studio, and I could see they had on in the dome, they had the games on and stuff, and I said, Tom, Maryland's winning this game outright, buddy. And you went, what's the score? And I said, Maryland's up by 2 touchdowns. This is amazing. At the time, maybe it was 3 touchdowns.
It was 2 or 3 scores because Texas only score at the time we started talking was the pick 6. So
block field goal.
Or was it block field goal to the house?
They had those 2 ways of scoring.
They had 2, yeah.
But they had the block field goal while we were getting ready to go on the air at one point. Yeah, we were testing to go on the air. Yeah, it was good stuff. Anyhow, so the point is you got to come correct this week, Tom. You got to find that game, circle that game. You think about that game.
Yeah,
all right.
a couple of them.
Florida State coming up next. I'll talk about it. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You put your mower through a lot. All that back and forth can add up to thousands of miles. That's like mowing cross country. Gravely commercial mowers are built for all-day performance, helping you get the job done mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Get your Gravely motor only at TNT Supercenter, your one-stop shop for work or play. 14585 Highway 19 South, Thomasville, Georgia. TNTSupercenter.com.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
The following message is brought to you by Health Markets, your first choice when you need health insurance for your small business. Do you offer health insurance to your employees? Call us now and see if you can save money. Do you want to offer vision and dental to your employees? Call us. Do you think you're paying too much for your current health insurance? Call us. Do you want somebody else to do all the legwork and search thousands of health plans from over 180 health insurance companies nationwide? Call us. We're Health Markets, and thanks to a little-known solution, we could help your business save thousands of dollars on health insurance costs and save your employees money too. Our service is free. Don't miss the great savings. Call now.
800-478-0834. 800-478-0834. 800-478-0834. That's 800-478-0834.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is DBA of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., licensed in all states. Product availability varies.
What am I going to do about Joey? He's staying so overwhelmed with homework, assignments, and tests. He's working so hard, but I don't know how to help.
Hi, I'm Lance Davis. Let Engaged Academics help your child learn how to cope with the stresses of academics. Visit engagedacademics.org for more information. That's engagedacademics.org.
The big game is almost here, but you can't afford to go because ticket prices are through the roof. Don't worry, we got your back. Anytix.com offers you the lowest price tickets. Guaranteed. Anytix.com doesn't mark up tickets. Anytix.com has zero. That's right, no buyer, seller, or service fees. For a small monthly fee of $9.99, you get access to all their wholesale tickets. Go to Anytix.com today. That's Anytix, T-I-X-X. Enter the coupon code ESPN Tally and get 20% off your subscription. Anytix.com, changing the way you buy tickets.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hey, you know something we haven't talked about at all? And I was reading a quote from Derek Kelly. You know, they've now certainly gone back and looked at the tape and thoroughly dissected it, and we know that Alec Eberle had a very good game. We suspected as much upon first glance. Graded out exceptionally well. Derek Kelly said that after they got done looking at film, they felt like they performed very well against Alabama. He said he was proud of the offensive line. I feel like we took a step forward, and I feel like there's always room for improvement. Rick Leonard said something similar. And when you look at this, Rick Leonard and Cole Minshew and Landon Dickerson, none of those guys have started more than 7 games in their career. And to go out there against Alabama and perform that way, is a very, very good sign. And I guess that's part of what I think is going to be on display moving forward is an offensive line that is better than people realize. When you only score 7 points and you really struggle to move the ball in the second half, that can kind of skew the way you view their performance. But in truth, I thought they were better than we expected them to be. I think that's a fair statement.
Oh, yeah. It might be an understatement, truly, because of the way they held up. And you think about it. I mean, Florida State moves the ball first drive of the third quarter down the field pretty well, and then it seems like Alabama has the ball for the rest of the quarter.
It did feel that way, yeah.
You know, with all the blunders that Florida State put out there and allowed the Crimson Tide to take advantage of. But there's no doubt, too, that the right side of the offensive line is the weaker side of the offensive line. That's the one that needs a little bit more help.
Well, the right guard is going to struggle a little bit from time to time.
Leonard struggled, too.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
But, I mean,
he wasn't terrible.
Yeah, he had a couple of moments, though, where I don't know, maybe they're asking him to do too much, and this is an argument that we get into an awful lot, trying to slant against, you know, somebody with Alabama's closing speed, anybody on their defensive line. It's just, it looks like that's going to be the weak link of the two halves of the offensive line. But Kelly, really, there was only one play. It was a call for Jacques Patrick to the left. He's running to the left where Kelly gave up a little bit of penetration. But other than that, I really didn't notice him, which from a left tackle, no news is good news, man. Give me no news all day from the left tackle.
Remember this. Alabama blitzed and blitzed some more. And the reason they blitzed was because they had to. They couldn't get pressure with their front four. They had to blitz. They had to bring pressure. Jeremy Pruitt learned very quickly as he was being gashed in the passing game, well, this ain't going to work. We're going to have to bring pressure or else we're going to get picked apart because their receivers are getting open and making plays, and DeAndre was throwing the ball well. So their goal at that point was to get him off his mark. And they brought pressure. They brought delayed blitzes. They stunted. They did a lot of things. So I think, again, you'd have to say kudos to this group.
Oh, absolutely kudos. And that's something, too, for, you know, the fans at home who don't care about the technicalities. Well, if there's a delayed blitz, that's usually on the quarterback. That's not on the offensive line. If there's a delay and then a safety all of a sudden comes out of nowhere, well, you know, your guards or tackles may be looking elsewhere, and it's too late to catch up to somebody that nimble, that fast. So the quarterback has to be aware. A couple of those hits, again, this past weekend are on the quarterback. A couple weren't, but certainly a couple of big hits that you saw in replay were the quarterback's responsibility. So, yeah, by and large, the offense, I mean, I really think this offensive line is going to be a positive on the team moving forward because not only did it protect well, not only did I think it did a good job in run blocking, I know that's somewhere we might disagree, you needed somebody faster to hit the hole. I mean, Jacques Patrick took forever to get where the design hole was going to be. It was too late. That defense is too fast.
Though. We first guessed that before that game. I'm still stunned that was the plan there in the run game. Listen, I just don't think Jacques Patrick is going to be the guy as much as we like him and as hard as he's worked. And he can certainly run better than he did. I don't know if he was in his head, but he didn't even run the way we've seen him run, that he's capable of running. Now, I don't think the yards were going to be there anyhow. But you got to run harder than that.
Well, I thought, and again, you know, we'll see as the season goes along.
Oh, they're going to be able to run block. They're going to be able to run block because they're not facing Alabama every week.
I thought if you could tote Cam, you know, 10 to 12 times, give him the rock, I think he would have consistently produced somewhere between 3 and 5 yards a carry, which against Alabama would be quite, I mean, eye-opening for what our offensive line was perceived to be able to do. One quick note, too, that I saw in watching the game a third time. It was on this morning on ESPN.
It was, indeed. I was watching some.
RPOs. Jimbo's using them. That fourth down play
is an RPO, yeah.
That's an absolute RPO, the style that we don't typically see at Florida State.
And it's schemed open, and we didn't run it well because the quarterback couldn't see the open receiver. And that is a downside to being 6 feet tall as a starting quarterback, and that is nobody's fault. Mother Nature, I guess you'd say. Genetics. Nothing DeAndre can do about that. Well, folks, I hate to be cruel here, but we just got a lot better in that department. You got a 6'5" kid who's going to see when a kid's wide open down the field.
And as we talked about earlier, Jimbo's still effusive in his praise of what Blackman's doing in practice. What
do you make of this? I actually think this is a fun, ongoing topic. You know, there are plenty of people listening to this show right now who say, well, what's he going to say, Jeff? I got you. Coach speaks coach speak, and you don't have to put a ton into that. Jimbo Fisher doesn't do that. He just doesn't do it with quarterbacks. He'll say he's playing well, throwing it well, we'll see in the game. He expects so much from his quarterback because he was a quarterback. And he calls the plays, and it's his offense. And he wants perfection. He needs perfection. He believes the plays are always the right plays, sometimes mistakenly. So he's kind of, I remember him with Jameis Winston. If I went on and on for too long about how well Jameis was playing, Coach was quick to say, well, there were some plays left out there. I mean, that's the kind of standard that he holds. So to hear him, and I get it, he's not had to start a true freshman since Gabe Gross all the way back at Auburn. And that was a terrible Auburn team that went 3-8. I know. Gabe went on to choose baseball. But what I think is interesting is the way that he's talking about this kid, even when he's not asked. He's offering these up. He's positing this information. It's got to be true in practice. It has to be.
Yeah, an exceptional day of practice. I mean, if somebody asked him in the beat, just watching all those interviews over the year and doing a couple of years' worth of them, he'll say, good, some bad.
Right.
Pretty consistent. I thought he had a great day today. Could use a little bit more consistency, but that's much more close to where we want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's the standard. If you're having a good day, that's what he'll say. He doesn't say, I thought he was exceptional. Man, that's usually something he reserves for a great defensive lineman, or when you talk about Derwin James, Lonnie Pryor, he used to call Steady Eddie. I mean, typically, when it's somebody at a high leverage position on the offense, he doesn't just throw it out there.
No.
At all.
So I again.
Yeah, it caught my eye too.
He said that the quote about ball makes sense to him. The throws, and then when you find out, and I got to ask this question, does he throw with anticipation on Twitter, at Jay Cameron Show? The answer to that question was he did in the scrimmages, and he did in that final scrimmage. He won, let me tell you where he won this job. Well, obviously he won the job once DeAndre Francois went down, and they had to pick another quarterback. But to be in the position to be chosen, how that happened was the final scrimmage. I've talked to a couple people who saw every play of that final scrimmage, and they said he was very impressive. I mean, it's a live scrimmage, Tom, against that defense.
Right. Well,
against that defense.
That's why your starting center would say he has the it factor. I mean, Eberle has no reason to believe that he needs to boost James Blackman's confidence level by saying he has the it factor. If anything, that puts the quarterback under more of a spotlight, more scrutiny. And that dude's been around a few quarterbacks here at Florida State. So for teammates to say that a player has the it factor, for Jimbo to say he has exceptional days of practice when you might think this is a time to dial it back and put the onus on the offensive line, the receivers, and the running backs, and instead you're heaping praise on a true freshman quarterback, it ain't our fault for the hype train. Just put it that way.
Well, and also, I think it has to be stated that even if everything he's saying about James Blackman is 100% the truth, that he's been awesome in practice, Eberle calls it the it factor, if all of that is true, if he's going to go on to be a superstar quarterback someday at Florida State, he is still going to have freshman moments. He is still going to make mistakes. He is still going to have games where you go, ooh, that wasn't a good game. That's a step back. It's going to happen, and it could happen at the worst possible time. It could happen against NC State. It could happen against Miami. It could happen against Louisville. He's going to have a game. All freshmen do, really. He's going to have a game where you go, I don't know, guys. I'm just not seeing it. People will do that because they're quick to come to conclusions early in a guy's career, and we're all kind of guilty of that sometimes anyhow. I just want to say, though, I think you should jump on board here and watch the slow build to what I think is going to be a very interesting development throughout the course of the season.
To return to an earlier point just for a moment, though, we talk about how in the last couple of days, for a true freshman, this is as good of a situation pretty much as you can find yourself. You got a great defense, special teams, I got you. But you got a great defense who can carry the day, and you got weapons, tall weapons at the receiver position. You got a good veteran tight end who can be a real game breaker if you choose to feature him. We never really have, but you can tell that Ryan Izzo is valuable in multiple facets of the offense, not the least of which is catching passes. You have dynamic running backs behind you, a stable of all kinds of skill sets, and an offensive line that we think is better. Add one more point to it. Jimbo, is he really willing to call modern-day RPOs? Because the Alabama film dictates that, yes, even that fourth down play by itself. Honestly, I think Nooney Murray was the first read on that play, and he comes open after DeAndre gets hit, and I think he was waiting for that to develop instead of looking down the field, and that's probably where the error came from.
My man.
But at the same time, that just tells me that's a do-or-die play, and Jimbo calls something more modern than something that's more traditional in his playbook. So James Blackman doesn't just have weapons and an offensive line. He also has a head coach who's deciding to call something a little bit more advantageous than he used to in the RPO game. That's a really good sign, too.
NFL begins tonight. We'll touch on it momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. I know where I work. Hey, now.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
North Florida region. Big time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine, rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. All systems cleared for launch. Initiate launch sequence. T-minus 3, 2, 1, mark. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
You are now off the couch and out exploring the world. Roger that.
Get charged up for what's coming next, anytime, anywhere, with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
Refreshment Services Pepsi announces that Steven Peters has been chosen Employee of the Month. His hard work, commitment, and great attitude all reflect the true spirit of Pepsi. Congratulations, Steven.
Proof Brewing Company and For the Table Hospitality present the 5th annual Florida Tap Invitational, September 29th and 30th. This 2-day event features a block party Friday and a beer festival on Saturday. VIP and general admission tickets are available at FloridaTapInvitational.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The new NFL season kicks off tonight with the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots hosting the Chiefs. Tom Brady will try to become the first quarterback to start 16 games in a season after turning 40. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald is still holding out and is now not expected to play in Sunday's opener against the Colts. If Donald doesn't show up before kickoff, he'll lose his first game check worth just over $100,000. Former Yankees player, manager, and GM Gene Stick Michael has died. Michael also managed the Cubs. In the early 90s, he drafted or signed the players who would become known as the Core Four: Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, and Mariano Rivera. Michael was 79 years old. It's an All-American Final Four at the U.S. Open women's semifinals. Venus Williams plays Sloane Stephens. Madison Keys faces Coco Vandeweghe. Live coverage of the women's semifinals starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
It's official. Weekends are now reserved for football. So come watch it at B-Dubs with other fans who are all there for the same reason, to watch sports. In a place packed with roaring fans and a vast menu of food. It's built for fans. It's home for football. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Man's on a solo tour right now, by the way. Rare acoustic solo tour. I didn't get the latest solo album. I need to do it.
Is that the one with him and his kid?
No, I think this is another one. I think he's got another one.
He's a record releasing fool.
Yeah, him and Ryan Adams, they just go on and on and on. Hey, by the way, if you don't know, the Tallahassee Get Down is still happening this week. Tallahassee Get Down, it's good times. It's the Get Down series. You know that. Be 6 events this year, all in all, on Friday nights before the FSU home games. That, you know, the Tallahassee Downtown will provide live entertainment from local and regional acts, and it helps local charities. You got free music, food trucks, local arts, craft beer, kids fun, family friendly. So what we have this week is 2 Foot Level is going to be playing. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure they're great. Go enjoy it. Downtown. They haven't moved. They're downtown. Okay? That's where they're going to be. Downtown, Tom.
That could be a place to go after we wrap up our broadcast at the Seventh Hill Tap Room.
I think that sounds like a plan.
The MIA Hardwater, man. I'm looking forward to having one of those around
a Hardwater, huh?
5:55 p.m.
Yeah.
Hey, try it, people. If it's going to be hot in the tailgate lots, give that a shot. I swear.
News and notes for you NFL guys and gals, perhaps fantasy, perhaps sporting, perhaps you're just rooting for somebody. Of course, I understand. Tyrod Taylor is cleared to play in Week 1. That's good news if you got anybody on Buffalo's offense, like a receiver, for example. It would be good to know that Tyrod Taylor will be playing.
He's turned out to be a wholly average NFL quarterback.
Which is a ceiling that I never thought Tyrod Taylor could reach.
Impressive.
Very impressive. By the way, Khalil Mack, Oakland's stud linebacker, missed practice again yesterday with a knee issue and remains iffy for this first game. That's a problem because he's really freaking good.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Also a problem for the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett, first overall pick in the draft, could miss several weeks, they're saying now. Several weeks. Had an ankle injury in practice yesterday. How Cleveland Browns of the Cleveland Browns.
Man, he looked like a machine. It's the preseason, but he looked like a physical machine on the field, in good shape with a good motor.
How pissed are you? As a Cleveland fan in general, you're kind of angry. You kind of go through this life a little frustrated. And then you get this guy, and that defense looks pretty good. And you've got a nice offensive line. You got a little bit of a running game with Isaiah Crowell. You got a little something going for you. Just got to find a quarterback, and you may have him too. We'll see. He's got a cannon. We're not even gonna get out the gates without a major injury to a superstar in waiting, right?
Brutal.
Speaking of injuries, this would be bad, but this is not an injury as of right now. This is rather a bit of a problem with a contract extension. As you guys know, Aaron Donald said, "Look here, man, I want more money." The Rams said, "Well, we're not doing that. You've barely been here. We got a little time left on the contract." And he went, I won't come to camp. What do you think of them apples? So he hasn't, and he's going to miss the season opener. The Rams announced. You got to sign Aaron Donald. That's kind of a...
You do. He is a bit of a you-know-what.
Well, he can be difficult, but
yeah.
you got to sign him. The Eagles have said that they expect Josh Norman to shadow Alshon Jeffrey in this game. That's a good matchup, one of the better games of the weekend.
That is a good
and
matchup.
Washington, yeah.
Remember when Josh Norman mattered?
Well, Josh Norman's still a good player, Tom. He's still good.
He mattered much more when he was in Carolina.
Because of the system.
It's amazing how a defensive line and the best linebacker play in the league can kind of make you better as a corner. Right, Rondé Barber?
Yeah, he's still good, though. He's still pretty good. He's not as good as he was in Carolina with all of those things, but he's still pretty good. Anyhow, he's going to be shadowing Alshon Jeffrey. Also, by the way, Odell Beckham Jr. has missed more time. He missed practice today, they say, injuring his ankle, of course, in the preseason. His Week 1 status is still in question if you're a Giants fan.
Really? Well, it's a good thing for them. They at least kick off Sunday night at 8:30 rather than a 1 p.m. kick. So they those few hours could be critical for him.
Yeah, so these are just some player notes, some news and notes regarding what you need there.
How buttoned up is that?
I'm trying to do the right thing this year with the news and notes. I understand people like to have a good time. They get down with the NFL. They have a lot of fun. They're in various leagues. Perhaps they're in pools like the one you mentioned earlier in the hour.
Sure.
These things, they exist, and you need to know, is that guy going to play? Did he miss practice? Who's covering Alshon Jeffrey this weekend, by the way? Oh, Josh Norman is. I heard it on Cameron's show. See, that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing the right thing for you.
Man, again, least of the concerns, but I did get screwed by the Tampa Bay-Miami postponement because I have quite a few Dolphins and Bucks on my roster.
Well, I have Jameis
and then
in both my leagues.
And also, I decided to take suspended players in one of my leagues.
Yeah.
So Zeke, we'll see
You're
what
good
happens
to go there.
tomorrow. We're good to go for week 1 at the very minimum. But I took Willie Snead, Doug Martin. So that means I got Jacquizz Rodgers starting in week 1. I had Devontae Parker from Miami.
Nope.
I had to drop O.J. Howard. I liked him as a sleeper. Ooh. I had to drop him.
Did somebody quickly in your league go, what is Tom doing?
Not yet, but we'll see. At least he doesn't have to put a game on film this weekend for me to get screwed, because the worst team gets the first waiver claim.
Right.
That's the underrated thing about, week 1 tanking is you get the first waiver claim because usually there's a superstar that nobody's heard of.
Yeah.
That's going to go for 1,000 yards either on the ground or in the air.
Nobody in your league has figured out O.J. Howard is available.
The thing is, they're going to use him so much in the run blocking game that is he really going to amass more than 300-400 yards receiving because they still love Cameron Brate down there.
All right. I just was wondering if
I took him because I think he's actually going to be a freak. But I don't know that. And it's a Tampa league, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. Anyhow, looking forward to it. Come back, wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
You can tell a lot about a tractor by its warranty. That's why Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth. With steel, not plastic. Backed by the industry's best limited powertrain warranty, period. Not 5 years, not 6 years, but a full 7 years on select models. No wonder the other guys are green with envy.
No money down, 0% interest, and no payments until July. Available at TNT Supercenter.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Yeah, I like them.
Get the latest news, interviews, and insights 3 hours ahead of kickoff before the Noles defend home turf.
Hey, on Saturday, we're going to play a game. We're going to most likely win that game, and we're going to celebrate on Sunday.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Whole Foods Market, a leader in natural and organic food that brings the highest quality of local and global products to Tallahassee. Whole Foods Market, located at 1817 Thomasville Road, and presented by MMT Clinics of Florida. Visit mmtcfl.com.
To the pylon! That's a Seminoles touchdown!
Bill's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Hey, this is Clay Culpepper with Miller's Tree Service. Summertime is here and storm season is right around the corner. We offer free consultations with a certified arborist where we meet with you and advise you on which trees are healthy, diseased, dead, or ones that may need trimming or even removal.
Miller's Tree Service, we go out on a limb for you.
Give us a call at 894-TREE.
Get to JCPenney and get more fun for your money. Refresh your workout wardrobe and save big on Night to Day Doorbusters, Friday 3 p.m. to Saturday 1 p.m. Like 60% off select styles of exertion for everyone at home. Get tees and hoodies for him and tops and leggings for her. Also available in extended sizes. Plus, stack on the savings and get your coupon on the JCPenney app to save an extra 15%. Hurry, and Sunday. That's getting your pennies worth. JCPenney. Coupon valid 9/8 to 9/10. Some exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Cool to be heading to the house to watch some National Football League action. Kansas City keep this close tonight?
Yeah, they play New England well historically, and Andy Reid's good on buys. And what's a bigger buy than Week 1?
A lot of time to prepare. They will play well tonight. I agree with you. It should be a lot of fun. Let's cue it up. That's just one of the many things.
Ready for a cold one?
Oh, yeah.
Proof Brewing Company in Railroad Square Art Park presents What's on Tap. So, Jeff, what'll it be?
Football. Yay, football. Yeah. Our thanks to our friends at Proof Brewing Company for coming on board to sponsor What's on Tap. Proof Brewing Company and For the Table Hospitality present the 5th Annual Florida Tap Invitational, September the 29th and 30th. One of North Florida's largest two-day beer festivals. VIP and general admission tickets are available online at FloridaTapInvitational.com. Yay, that's what's on tap. Football tonight. 8:30, New England, Kansas City. New England, oh, how obnoxious. We're going to have to see the raising of the banner and the rings and everything else. Seems like it's every year. It's not every year, but it feels that way.
I'm just going to set my alarm on my phone for when the kickoff happens. I'll find the kickoff time, set it for that so I don't have to watch the pomp and circumstance. But the NCAA got out of the way for tonight for the NFL. The only game that I see in FBS is Idaho State at Utah State. So they don't even want any part of the ratings tonight.
Got to miss that one. I'm going to go ahead and miss that one.
Yeah, that's not on tap.
Not going to do that.
That keg is kicked.
No. By the way, Roger Goodell did talk about moving the Buccaneers football game. Were you aware of that? And he was on Good Morning America, and he's talking about the maneuvering that was necessary. And I still don't hear a real good reason. Still not hearing a real good reason. Whole lot of, hiding behind, well, what you would expect, right? He says they feared the unknown.
Excuse me?
They were fearing the unknown from the powerful hurricane, Tom, and they thought, look, we've got to opt to move this thing, and while it ensures there will not be a football game or masses of fans and operational workers out and about if the record storm makes landfall in South Florida, it also drew criticism, of course, because it impacts both the teams playing 16 straight weeks. He said about that, we'll listen. The most important thing for us to do when making these decisions is listening to all the parties involved, where they want to be, where they should be, which is on the safety of the people in the state of Florida. We don't know where the storm is actually going to strike, but it's become increasingly clear that it's going to be in South Florida, and so we thought we should just move the game. So this is a lot of hemming and hawing and not making any sense. Of course it's in South Florida. Of course you're not exactly sure the part of the state that it's going to land on specifically. You knew this some time ago. This isn't a reason, and not a good reason anyhow.
No, it's a disorganized mess. What the F does any of that have to do with playing the game on a Thursday night somewhere outside of the city of Miami and getting everybody home in the wee hours of the morning on Friday? What does it have to do with that?
He would tell you that it would have compromised their efforts to help people in the community.
Whose efforts?
Prepare the NFL's efforts, Tom. They're efforting to help those in the state of Florida.
And how are they efforting to do that? How about you give them a distraction on a Thursday night when they're not in their homes anymore in Miami Beach and they can watch the Dolphins and the Bucks tonight?
Tom, you want specifics? I'm just here to tell you that the NFL is reaching out to their brethren in the state of Florida to help out in those communities that are going to be most affected by this most devastating storm. Sir, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're from the PR school. That's fair. But sometimes the BS is too stinky to even have PR talk its way through.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know that we're connecting with our brothers in the and sisters in the state of Florida, the great state of Florida.
Who you didn't need one of them.
Yeah.
Not one of them to work a game that was out of the city of Miami.
Yeah. The communities there, Tom, we were not going to compromise.
Right. Okay. Compromise communities. Yeah.
We're not compromising communities.
Well,
do you like these code words? These are so
Sure.
I've got it down, buddy.
Do you compromise communities by allowing NFL teams to sign dudes who throw women on piles of guns?
We weren't sure exactly where the storm was going to hit and how those communities would be most affected, but we wanted to partner with the great people of the state of Florida and make sure that we helped in those efforts to prepare for this devastating storm, Tom.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what gun has anything to do with it. We're talking about helping the great people of the state of Florida.
If you want to talk about Second Amendment rights.
Do you not? Do you not want to
pivot down the rabbit hole?
Do you not want to help people in the great state of Florida, Tom, in their communities that are going to be ravaged by this storm? We do at the NFL. We do.
See you down
Your
there.
concern is something else. I don't know what to say about that.
We'll see you down there with Jim Cantori, Roger.
Here we go. Cue it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching probables?
Cubs, Pirates, John Lester, Jamison Tyon. Boy, the Pirates just get this steady, keep kicking the Cubs' ass, huh? I don't know. Did they win last night? I wasn't paying attention.
Is that a 12-game series?
It feels that way. Philadelphia, Washington, Aaron Nola, Tanner Roark. Who?
Roark's going to get it lit.
Yes, he is. Reds, Mets, Tyler Mahle, and Matt Harvey. Fat. Marlins, Braves, Dan Straley, Sean Newcomb. We've got Indians, White Sox, Corey Kluber, Carlos Rodon. Twins, Royals, Kyle Gibson, Sam Gaviglio. Cardinals, Padres, Lance Lynn, Clayton Richard. Rockies, Dodgers, John Gray, Clayton Kershaw. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. Well, it's about time to wrap it up, man. All right. Wagers abound. If you tuned in late and you don't know what they are, they're out there. They're on the Facebook page. Go to ESPN Tallahassee. You type in 97.9 on your Facebook page. You'll see my wagers. You pick your games. It's all for charity. It's a good thing. Tom Lane, good work out of you. Matthew, great work out of you. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the football, and we will talk to you tomorrow on Libations Friday. Be good, everybody.